And welcome to Game Changer World. My name is John. B, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing good. How are you doing, Frankie?
I am doing better than expected after the weekend that I just had. So let's see if that holds true after we do the rundown tonight. So
yeah, man, you had a busy weekend. You attended 2 out of 3 of the shows, correct?
2 out of 3 of the shows. I was out and about town for 4 of 4 nights of 4th of July weekend. So my mind's fried right now. So let's go. Let's get back to let's get back to pro wrestling.
All of us thank you for your service, Frankie. We know it was a very difficult weekend, but someone had to do it.
Someone had to drink all of those nasty beers, and I'm happy to be that person.
But you did drink some of those nasty beers with some friends. I think I saw a picture that you guys sent over with James Noter and Reed Harris Cooper, all 3 of you together, right?
Yep, there was a bunch of us somewhere in the swamps of Jersey this weekend for backyard wrestling. So that was quite a show. So.
Well, I'll just put this up there real quick. Clown says, good evening, everyone. Clown, good evening. Nice to see you. Shannock, nice to see you also. Let's see who else. We have Nucci in here. Good to see you. Great one. Our West Coast correspondent is in here tonight. Mike Ruh, good to see you also. Frank, also in chat right now as we speak.
Pointing Spider-Man.
Nice to see Balls on back in for a second week here. Matt Brown is back. Said, what's up, everyone? What was everyone's favorite match this weekend? Off the top of my head, it's going to be that Young, Dumb, and Price and Mathers. That's just like hands down, for right now. The Crow Fairy Tale also. Nice to see you here. So yeah, this is going to be a crazy weekend. We didn't even know who was going to start the show. Everybody's in like a crazy place right now. B's been busy with work. I'm trying to do what I can to just keep sanity, which has been a 3-year process. Frankie is, again, he is dead fucking tired and still dragging his carcass to the fucking keyboard.
I do this for you fucking Mark, so enjoy it.
Mark, let's see. G-Mac, welcome. Good to see you here. Said the Hartford show was awesome. Really enjoyed Backyard 7 and JCW too. Looks like you both were at the same place, Frankie. Nice. Okay, so we welcome the listeners. Let me go through my little spiel real quick. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notified when we go live. Super chats are available if you want to donate. Leave a comment. It's totally free and really does help us out. And as always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. Please sit down and relax. You're amongst friends here. And together, we're going to go deep into the night. We have a lot to cover. This will be a great show. And I just want to ask you guys then, are we ready to kind of get started with the little bits of news we have?
Let's go.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. So announced earlier today, Frankie kind of let me know about it here, but on the Whatnot thing that GCW was doing, announced earlier was GCW coming to Vermont on November 9th. I don't have a city yet. Was it like Montpelier or one of those?
I believe I just saw Brett just threw his phone up with the standard GCW coming to graphic and it said Vermont.
Okay.
So.
Okay, sweet. Well, looking forward to that then.
We've got a couple months to figure out exactly what city you should be in, but aim for somewhere in Vermont on the 9th. So
he said, Matt just said here, I don't know if I like Frankie in a hat. Hats are reserved for losing.
Listen,
you know what? That reminds me.
Listen, I had a fight with a rainstorm today and my hair lost. We're just gonna leave it at that. This is
shit happens, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Shit happens to the best of us, even if you're an all-star like Frankie down there. Okay, so I just want to ask what you guys think. I think GCW's on a hot streak right now. I feel like ticket sales are up, fan enthusiasm's up. Our show numbers, even as viewership is up. How do you guys feel about, again, I'm just kind of going ahead, but I really do feel like GCW has kind of gotten the ball rolling a little more towards the higher up the hill than they were. To me, I'm thinking it might be something to do with, Elena Black and some of the other talent from WWE coming in. I like how this works a lot. What do you guys think?
I said, kind of made that comment when they announced we're getting Gigi Dolan, Elena Black, Shotzi, kind of all those names, kind of the matches that were kind of announced too around that same time. I kind of said this, if the cards were played right and the matches kind of go the way I think and kind of hope they go, I think there could be a very fun summer, not only just around Effie and the belt, but all around in GCW just as a whole. And yeah, I'm kind of glad to be back on this show to kind of talk about that. And I'm kind of glad you had made that comment like one of the last shows I was on. And I'm kind of glad coming back and seeing kind of all this come to fruition and how fun it's kind of been. And I'm glad that you guys kind of feel that I've been kind of off social media a little bit and everything and haven't kind of seen the excitement as much as other than around like kind of, the trios match I kind of saw and like just matches here and there. But near the end of Sunday night, I kind of saw a lot of people talking about just GCW as a whole and feels that it is kind of on the upswing. And I kind of feel that same way and kind of excited going into homecoming to see what goes into that and what comes after that as well.
We're finally getting back up to that heyday, that peak GCW that we've been missing. And I think Saturday night kind of exemplified that old school, that 2019, that 2020 style show that we haven't had in recent months, recent years, where it's been that buffet, that literal buffet of having, your technical marvels, and then you follow it right up with a tag team brawl around the room, and then just completely blindside an entire room of very nice people with glass as your main event. It's that's everything you want in the unpredictability of a GCW show.
And no offense to like the bigger cities like LA, AC and stuff, like those are always must go to shows. Like this kind of like this weekend and a couple of other like Phoenix has kind of turned into like it's starting to feel like every show is a must go to show where if you don't go to it, you might be missing out on something crazy where you think it's just a random show, not in Vermont, but
I mean we've been making
this week in Hartford, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a random show in Hartford turned out to be like one of the best shows in a long time. And I just feel like a lot of these shows kind of have that feeling that you never know what to expect and you don't want to miss out on it live.
It's been the joke of Brett calls every town's an A town. I mean,
yeah,
pop the hometown crew, get everybody going. But yeah, like Hartford, I don't know what they're putting in the water in Hartford. They're going rabid, building up these strongholds like Phoenix, like LA, like Atlantic City, your hub and spokes, build your hub and spokes. So you have those cities so that, Phoenix has always been a B town on an LA loop. Right? They've always been the Sunday town on an LA loop. What if we have a loop anchored by Phoenix? What if we have a loop anchored by Hartford?
Well, I'll tell you this much.
You get to extend those tendrils out, another layer down, whatever you want to call it, to those sea towns or whatever. But rising tide lifts all boats and all that.
Absolutely.
So seeing these smaller. Forgive me, I'm going to use terminology that makes you sound like an asshole. Again, shocker, everybody drink. But it's always a good thing to see these smaller towns just come up and then just wild out. And talking to people on Sunday in Asbury Park, seeing that Hartford put together one of the best crowds in GCW history, good. Holy shit, we want that to happen. I have some more words about that of your strongholds are a double-edged sword. So I'll get to that in a little bit later when we get down to Backyard, but carry on.
Yeah, this was just a huge weekend. When it comes to running times, Backyard was 3:07, which isn't bad, around 3 hours.
That was, to be fair, that was a shit ton of setup too. So
yeah, it was. I'm guessing there was right around an hour or less of action total once you really, add it
I'll
all
give it a generous 90 on that. So
top play was 3 hours 40 minutes. Yeah. Hey, but worth every minute. Worth every minute.
That felt like the best way I can describe that show was like 2021 October in the Carousel Room. It had
just a chunk
of a show, a good chunk of a show where there was no match where you say that's the match where I'm going to go to the snack bar and get a drink.
Yeah,
there was not a clear I'm going to go skip this one match on the entire card.
Well, then let's match it up. JCW then with 3 hours and 32 minutes. So an average 9 hours on 3 shows for a weekend ended up being more like 10 and a half hours. of viewing time for us. So just letting everyone know, it was wild. I think my notes topped out at 6,500 words, which is about 1,500 above average. So yeah, this is a thick show. And I did say earlier, we are going to take just a little break somewhere in between. I know some people were fond of it last time, and I could use a mental reset at around the 1.5 to 2 hour mark. I know we all can. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we got into Backyard Wrestling 7?
No, I think I can put in what I was saying as we go along. So I'll stop you when I need to.
Sweet. B, you want to kick it off? You want me to kick it off? How you want to do it?
I'll do it. Our first show we're covering tonight's GCW's Backyard Wrestling 7, coming to us from the Backyard in USA.
We open with the annual fireworks and Party in the USA's blaring on the speakers. We have Emil in his USA flag gear. Big Vin sings the national anthem and then jumps in a pool. I almost thought for a minute it's Bear Bronson, but no, that was Chad Mins. He had Suns Out, Guns Out during the event here. Adam Galt with a Perch shirt. Please heal up, Perch. All of us over here give you the best. What's up, B?
All right, so a couple times tonight, you might have to catch me up on stuff. What's up with Perch? I don't know.
Without like details, he went through just a minor surgery and he's on the other side of it. And now it's just a matter of time before he bounces back and through. So it's, it's one of those things where he even took a picture right outside the facility. He's like, hey, got a couple days. So yeah, as soon as he can get back, I love the guy. He's great. Striped referee pants from Adam Galt, I thought
those were really a choice.
Funny.
Those were a choice.
They were definitely longer than him too. I almost feel like someone found them and just grabbed them and just said, "Here, Adam, go with it." But if he had a pair of scissors, he could have cut off those bottoms. Just saying. He made him work. I'll just say he made him work.
Of course. He had the Bucky shirt, so it was fine.
Yeah, they look good on you.
I missed the striped basketball shorts from like the first and second Backyard too. I can't lie. That outfit was always a classic.
I feel like that's kind of the play. I think he's kind of making a play like maybe I couldn't find my shorts, so guess what? I'm going to stand in fucking 90-degree heat and pants.
Oh, God.
The Beetlejuice fans.
Also, I got to give it up to Scarlett too. She had that classic sun hat and the long striped socks type thing. Like everybody had their own little thing going on there. Again, I'm a pale guy, so her having completely covered, I get it 100%. Frankie, what were your thoughts, man? I mean, you showed up how early? Talk us kind of through when you got there, what you saw.
So I was driving for 16 hours to get to the show. 15 hours was just doing, just laps on a roundabout. So, what's that bad? So I got there, I want to say probably 1:45 for a 2:00 start. So I was there just a little bit early, just so I could, throw my chair down, throw my cooler down, say hi to everybody, just get the lay of the land and all that. It was this was the first time I've been at this location for the show. I was at a different Backyard for Backyard 3, so that was that was a couple of years ago. But it's there was beer flowing, there was hot dogs and hamburgers were available and made use of. People were just hanging out, throwing coolers out. There was more than enough to drink. There was more than enough to eat, more than enough to smoke. So everybody was more than happy hanging out, even in all that sun. I think I went through probably a can and a half of spray sun screen.
Yeah.
Just the big old spray cans of it because it was so. I swear I was putting on an extra layer every match just to make sure I didn't get too burned, and I still walked away with a wicked watch tan. So
yeah. You got a lot of attention this weekend at both shows from different wrestlers and stuff too, man.
One show at a time, please.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah. I was going to say there's stories there. I can't wait to kind of get into.
I've said this before on this show. It's like, look, I cannot escape the gimmick fan accusation. They just come to me because I make a good stooge on TV.
Yep. Easy to find too. You're one of the tallest in the crowd always.
Always.
Yeah. So it's I also want to say great job by Emil and Brett. I love having them on the microphone, and I feel like Brett lately has been really comfortable just having a good time more than most, I would say. Yeah. Anything else before we start this off? Frankie, was there anything else that kind of an impression on you or anything?
No, it's just like I said, it's just one of those shows where it's the wrestling is not the main is not, as much as this is a terrible thing to say. The wrestling is not the main attraction at these backyard shows. It's watching the car crash in action. It's watching, you know these people, and we're throwing beers to everybody. It's like everybody's hanging out together. It's not like the locker room was a pop-up tent around the corner from where you could see the entrance ramp. So I mean, it's not like, it's not like at a normal wrestling show where it's like, the locker room is hidden away in the back. No, the locker room was standing behind us, stealing beers out of our cooler. So I mean, like, it's not like, I'd steal. It's not actual stealing, but like, everybody's just there. It's so commingled. It's not. It's a very casual vibe, to say the least.
I feel like it's one of these things. It's a hangout where it's like, hold my beer, I have a match, I'll be right back.
Yes, in 10. Absolutely. Yes, that's a great way to put it. Yes.
All right, then. Want to roll on with our first match? What do you think?
All right. Our first match from Backyard Wrestling 7 was YDNP versus the Backseat Boys.
Backseat Boys come out to the Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell music. I'm still interested in a paranormal podcast, but I'm going to say right here, part of the reason why I do what I do today is because of Art Bell and his Coast to Coast podcast. And it's also partially why we have such a late time, is just because I guess somewhere deep down, I always wanted a late night podcast, and we ended up getting it.
You always wanted that overnight slot.
Yeah. I just felt like there was less competition in that area, so why not? Yeah, right here. The theme songs they used was epic. ZMZO's here, by the way. Rutch here is also in. Let's see. Toxic Revengers also come. I swear I saw someone else, but yeah, we've got
Matt's here too. I didn't say hi to Matt, but he's here.
Oh yeah. What's up, Matt? What a maneuver. Yeah.
That's a shoot, brother.
Yeah, the shoot thing was fucking hilarious. Everything in the main event, which I don't know if anybody noticed, Skittle was just in here a couple minutes ago, our main eventer from the backyard. And we're going to be getting to his match in a little bit, but holy mackerel, did we? No, I won't say we. I didn't expect that. I just didn't. And we'll leave it at that for right now.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Also, I was just seeing that trampoline was out in the sun. That's got to be hot.
Yeah, everything was just hot. It was just dusty and everybody was just sweating, and the dust from it's like festival ground. Like the best way to describe it is like, when you go to like a concert and the grass just turns to dirt in like 2 hours, and it just gets stuck all over you because you're just sweating all day. That's what everything was. Everything just had that just dusty coating on it. It's Skittle can attest to it. I think a couple other people that were there, Reed could probably attest to it. I think Reed's actually not here tonight. That's right. Reed said he emailed me some notes, and I think he probably emailed you the same notes about his experiences in the backyard. But James and some other people, everybody's like, it was just, the dust was just ever present because everybody was just a sweaty ball of mess by the end of the show.
There we go. Yep. Little Skill, he says, I always tune in. Yeah, good to see you, man. This is going to be a fun one tonight. I have a campaign I think I'm going to start, but I think Brett already kicked it off. I think we're going to see maybe Skittle every year, maybe do a Jay and a Skittle every year, a little homegrown talent, kind of Jimmy Lloyd, start from here and work his way up, and he becomes one of ours, like a man of the fans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I see it, though. I'm looking at it. I think it's an idea for down the road. Big Vin with a drive-by on his ATV kind of had me laughing there. Didn't expect that.
And what the fuck, Vin, for the back seats? Come on,
I thought the same thing there. I was like, what the hell, Vin?
Jordo and Alec are right there. Come on.
Tommy Grayson then suffers a broken leg when he was jumping off of that little like a bigger play structure.
It was the gooseneck of a fifth wheel trailer.
Oh, that's what that was. I always wondered what that really was, because I always thought it was like a play thing for kids.
No, I think Big Vin just has a lot of farm machinery and stuff. So when you hear people talking about like farm animals and stuff at the show, that's all the farm. So I think it was just one of his gooseneck trailers, and they just went up there and just landed wrong on it. So
yeah,
I mean, obviously, you know, we never want to see anybody hurt. You know, even if they're on the other side, it's you know,
landed right on Jordan's face.
Those damn juggalos. Those damn juggalos almost broke Jordo's face. God damn it.
Yeah, he took a knee straight to the face on that. You know what though? Accidents happen. I wouldn't be blaming anybody, you know. I'll tell you this much though. The adult in me was watching him try to walk on it later and fail, and I'm just like, oh, just stay down, son. Just like you could see it was fucked up. Just stay down. So I'm sitting there going, oh, he's gonna injure it worse. Just stop, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was, but great job by the guys who helped him out, and then also great job by Price, Oliver, and I can't remember the name of the other. I'm so sorry.
Believe it or not, it was Ruckus who carried Grayson off.
No shit.
It was mostly people from the scramble came out, and you know.
Okay.
Obviously, sorry, I ruined your immersion. It was Ruckus, and I think it was Sean and Tony. Obviously, forgive me if I might have gotten one of those names wrong, but Ruckus was the one who actually carried him off. So.
Well, I don't know if there's any type of a fundraiser or anything going on, but I would recommend if anybody does have a chance, just maybe go out there and check it out.
I think Tommy put up their pro wrestling tees link or something.
Perfect.
I have to confirm that, but
okay.
Real quick.
Let's see here. Mike Rose said KJ and AK could handle it like pros. Yeah, it was nice to see backyard pros in our backyard match. I'll talk more about that later too. JJ Allen on fire. We're going to be talking about that. Justin said Iron Man match next year for Skittle and Jay, but there was another announcement for that. We're looking for there. Patrick, nice to see you. Oh, right here. It says JJ was spot on there. Yep. That made for some great pictures. I'll tell you, the photographers were happy as shit that they got some of those pictures. I know Nick Richardson got some great ones, and
Nacho got some great ones too. So,
Price with the "you can't see me" and an attitude adjustment for the finish there. Young, Dumb, and Price won this match. This was not for the GCW Tag Team Championship at all. At the end here, Young, Dumb, and Price crack beers and celebrate Stone Cold style. I want to ask you both, how do you feel this injury is now going to change the tag team situation between GCW and JCW? Are we going to move the Brothers of Funstruction into the backseat position here? Funny to say.
I can only imagine that's going to be the case, because like, I know everybody's going to say, oh, it's backyard, it's a throwaway show, blah, blah, blah. But you wouldn't bring in outsiders like the Graysons unless you had something bigger in the works, even for a throwaway show like Backyard.
Yeah.
You know, there's some other names on this card that you would say, oh yeah, absolutely, they're just a throwaway because it's a Backyard card. Haha, like the North Korean assassin. Like, you know, of course, that's just, you know, that's one of those, like, you know, oh, that's a super, you know, Philly name that, you know, most people wouldn't know about. But yeah, it's just, there had to have been something bigger there.
Yeah, for me, that was like the one thing I wrote. I was enjoying this match. It looked like this was going to be a cool feud for the JCW, GCW, and then the injury kind of. I wrote, oh, never mind, because the injury looks pretty serious that it might be put on hold. But even if it is put on hold and it doesn't have anything to do with the JCW invasion, I would like to see them bring that Backseat Boys back just for even a quick little feud, because I think that would be a fun story to tell with everything, like the history and stuff like that with Jordan and that team. But
yeah, of course,
Trent, that's what I would like. I wanted to see that kind of story play out and everything, but I hope they do go back to it. And it sucks because it was like, that looked like a team that I could get behind, because I haven't seen too much of them. Of the Backseat Boys at all, really. So what little I've seen, I've been interested in the challenge for the belts. And yeah, it kind of does suck, because now it does seem like it's up in the air. And I know I heard you guys in the chat saying the Funstruction team, I mean, that seems like a natural fit in temporarily for right now, but I just wonder where it was going to go in the future.
I'll throw my hat in the ring on this one and just say, without the JCW storyline, I'm cool seeing the Backstreet Boys over at GCW once they're healthy and ready to go again.
Absolutely.
And that
Wow,
includes
same.
the Funstruction too. I'd take them in a heartbeat over here. They're filling a slot with their experience that I don't think anyone else has right now.
And it's not just I'm Mr. Tough Guy and I'm a tag team wrestler. It's they actually have a defined gimmick too. They do the whole legitimate circus clown thing and wrestling in clown shoes. That's literally the best thing that we could have right now. It's so out of left field even for us.
The St. Clair Monster Corporation. I have to know more about them before I really talk too much.
Yeah,
I don't want to step out of place on them. To be fair.
We keep mentioning Brothers of Funstruction just because they're a known commodity to GCW at this point, where they're not out of place coming in outside of this Juggalo GCW feud, and they would still play nice.
Next one right here. Sorry, I'm so sorry I cut you off, Frankie.
Oh no, you're good.
If Funstruction now goes into that slot against YDMP, will both tag belts be on the line? How would you do that? Book that? Would you consider a unification so that you could split them later for the drama?
It's anything.
Come and get it. You know what I mean? Like, we stole your belt. Come and get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see that happening.
That's how I'd book it. It's
just the issue of you got to be very delicate on how you book that de-unification part of it.
Absolutely. I would book it in GCW, and then obviously Young, Dumb, and Price would have to win it on GCW territory, LA or AC. Yeah.
Or it'd be something like, you do a multiple falls match, first match, first fall gets our belts, second fall gets your belts type thing,
Yeah. Crouch right here says it. Funstruction impressed me when I saw them. They're hilarious and can wrestle. Yeah. I was going over this on the last show. I think they have like 21 and 22 years of experience respectively each.
They don't act like it. They sure as shit don't look like it.
I see it. No lie. I see it. We won't break them down, but partially is the fact to where
they don't look like they're 20-year vets.
Correct. Now that's a better way to put it. Also, they still have some youth to them that doesn't scream 20-year vet. You know what I mean? But I mean, if I start breaking down the fact that they tether so well together inside and outside of the ring, they have great facials. They know how to use the classic sad clown looks and everything else. They're instigators. I think they're great heat magnets when they need to be. I also think they're technically fairly sound in the ring. I'm not saying they're Jonathan Gresham's. But what I'm saying is if you ask them to do A, B, and C, they're going to be more than happy to do A, B, and C just as you asked, and we'll deliver each time with a little bit of flair.
And then some.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's the thing right here. Makeup does yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Hides a lot of age. Anything else on this one before we square way into round two?
No, it's obviously you could tell they were going for something else, and it just got away from them. They really couldn't, put a pin in it the way they wanted to. I think that there was a lot more they could have done on that. I think, how long did it actually last for? Like less than 10?
Oh, I'd have to go back and look. I had erased that small section, but
hold on.
There was minutes left that did not.
907. This could have easily been a 15-minute match if there wasn't an injury,
especially as the opener.
So,
Alec didn't even have a chance to unpeel all his tricks.
Exactly.
Yeah, he didn't have a chance to run around the yard like we know he likes to do. He was jumping off of trailers and shit before we barely knew his name.
There was
I don't know if you remember, there was one where he came off of a backflip one time and pretty much ate it straight on the dirt. I think it was like his first one. It was ugly. Yeah. All right. Oh, he got hit with the mute button first tonight. We are plagued. We are plagued.
All right. Match number 2 was Pizza Cat Jr. versus Tony Deppen Jr. versus Lucky Jr. versus Sean Henderson Jr., Claude Morrow Jr., and Charlie Tiger. Not Jr.
Junior.
So I was really bummed for a moment when this match kind of started to come out. You have Pizza Cat Jr., Billy's out, and then all of a sudden I think the next one was like Lucky 13 or something, and I went, what in the fuck just happened? And And I'm thinking, oh shit, we're gonna get a singles match, just Billy and Lucky 13. What are you really getting? You know what I mean? This is not the black heart we're looking for. But it sounds like they just made the most of it and made the best of it. In the back of my head, I'm going, was she signed and already gone? Like, did they pull her from her GCW dates? That was my real first concern. She's still on the Dallas card, I believe.
Yeah, and they were literally talking about that match on Saturday. So I think it was just a matter of travel or something else. I don't think it was actually.
They even played a big angle into it on that Maple Leaf Pro wrestling show. They made a big angle on it too. So I think it kind of is that was kind of cool seeing that kind of angle play on a different company. But yeah, I think that match still is going to happen.
We had 5 people in this match until our 6th competitor decided to rise out of a pool and decide that he wanted to choke the living crap out of, I can't remember at the
Tony.
Time. Was it Tony?
It was Tony, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and say this. I may have said this before, but Charlie Tiger, if he wants the job, I feel like he's reminiscent of Rhino. Why not take the job?
I can definitely see it.
I don't know. I think he could go to learn something. He's a thick guy. Nothing's gonna change that. Fucking own it. Pounce, brother. Giving credit to Lucky 13 for the Spike Rana and the lung blower. Our finish here, Pizza Cat pulled off a pump handle pile driver and covered for 3. This was less than a 5-minute match, and Ruckus did get banged up a little here. Frankie, you were telling me a little about that. Was it his elbow or was that someone else?
It was KJ's elbow. I think
That's right.
I think Ruckus came down on his leg the wrong way because I think that one specific side of the ring was just ever so slightly higher off the ground than you would expect a ring of that size to be. And I think he just landed on it funny. As far as I heard, he's good, but he just got, in the moment, it was just something went wrong with his leg. So,
yeah. Sean Henderson he was given more of an ovation than I really expected. He gets a lot of love from the fans.
He's definitely one of those like underdogs. He's out of that H2O crowd. So I might as well talk about this here. I was talking about there were definitely dead moments during this show, and that's the double-edged sword of having only the invited super fans at a show like this. Matt actually mentioned it earlier in the chat where he said something to effect of. Let me go back and read his chat. Yeah, us Jersey fucks are jaded, and sometimes we care about more getting fucked up than the matches on the show. Yeah, it's just a matter of that. It was just we were just doing our standard jaded as hell in New Jersey hometown fan that just said, all right, yeah, we're just gonna be here and watch. We're not gonna cheer. So it's everyone in this crowd has seen everything.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean, so maybe Brett needs to pack in like one major swerve per backyard show just to kind of fuck with the smarts.
And it's like I tried getting some things going, but it's just a matter of everybody's just too cool for school at some of these shows, and it just doesn't go.
And they're too fucking hot to put energy into anything, so it's a double whammy.
Tony and Tony Deppen and one of my friends, Danny, were talking about like we should be quiet. They can hear us on the cam. And they were just talking about batshit booger figures, like just normal shit to be talking about in the corner. So, yeah, it is what it is. And I think just having a lot more commentary, just killing the crowd noise just a little bit on some of these shows is probably for the better.
I want to get on commentary one day for GCW, just one match. A backyard would be fun as hell, but yeah. If LA falls apart one day, they'll be like, pull John from the crowd. We need him so bad, right? That'll never happen.
No, of course not.
That's it. We're gonna start a thing today. Everybody, we need Game Changer World on comments. No, that's not gonna happen. We have great commentary, so I'd be a little intimidated, honestly. Could you imagine sitting next to some of these guys and trying to?
Oh, I would be so out of my element. So out of my element.
I would just turn to half of them and go, I'm on color. Don't even, nope. I call color right now.
The only one I could do it was the Emil, just be like chilling and watching wrestling. That's all it would be.
Otherwise, you end up like Brett doing like the German variation of an elephant crunk handle. You know.
He's doing a twisted ass blaster. That was a good one. Oh man! All right, well,
crunk handle or trunk handle?
Crunk handle,
handle.
As you do an elephant crunk handle. It's the one where you go like this, and then you twist it like this, and then with the Indian burn and all that. Yeah, never mind. Carry on.
Oh god! All right. Was there anything else we wanted to mention on this one before we moved into number 3?
Yeah, that's my final word on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Yeah, no Shotzi and Pizza Cat versus Pizza Cat Jr. But it was cool seeing some of the names at least.
That would have been a backyard super match of Pizza Cat versus Pizza Cat.
Yeah, I think that's what that's why like when I saw her come out early, I'm like, whoa, that's not like the main event there. Then I found out then she wasn't at the show, but it was kind of cool putting Tony on there, getting Charlie Tiger. Sean Henderson, I thought it was cool getting him on there. Same thing with Claude Ruckus. I thought it was cool seeing the names that we saw to make up for not seeing Pizza Cat Jr.
Well, also that's like a unique thing too. I don't think we're going to have the opportunity to have her on next year. She'll be gone somewhere.
Yeah, it was kind of like a one-time only. All right, next match was the North Korean Assassin versus Mosh Pit Mike.
I'll keep this one nice and easy. North Korean Assassin had someone with him. Later, we found out it was John Marzano. If you don't know who that is, at some point you get into the right groups, you'll know who that is. He's someone who helps out with Chad Mins and does a lot of stuff with setting up the ring and whatnot. He has a very important job to help make GCW's wheels move. So there you go. This match was a backyard version of Sheik Slaughter. This was Sheik versus Slaughter, USA versus, the only other thing I put here was just the amount of blood they were dripping was incredible for less than 5 minutes. Our winner here was Mosh Pit Mike. I'll throw it back to you guys. Was anything worth mentioning?
Oh my God. Just I didn't know Emil spoke Korean. That's all I'm going to say.
That was pretty damn funny. What was it, like white Korean? That's a white guy, isn't it? The North
white
Korean
guy
assassin.
with the face paint and the grill. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, there was a day where the light bulb went off on his head and he says, "This is my thing."
Yeah.
This is it. I'm going to be, hey man, there are flavors of all kinds, let me tell you, and to each their own for definitely for sure.
The name is so evocative. It's like the North Korean Assassin. Like, what could this possibly be as a wrestler?
Yeah, and then it's like a white guy in his 40s. I'm like, what? But yeah, that 40, was I like 40s. Hey,
50s at least.
I don't know, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be hard on the guy because he does his thing. I know some people were a little upset with, but at the same time, I mean, it's just theater. I mean,
I'll have thoughts on the whole thing when we wrap up this show. So,
what do you think, B?
Yeah, like I said, that flavor wasn't for me. Out of all the shoot talk too, like that's the one thing I thought, like it looked like a shoot fight. They were like just straight hitting each other. Like, it looked like someone owed each other money. It was out there, but yeah, I was happy to see the gussets, blood, and that was a match on backyard.
Just live firing gussets into each other. Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
some of those shots and everything, like I forgot who, but look confused. It's like, what the hell was that? Like, what are we doing here? But whatever, that was backyard.
My original notes just said they did the job. Less than 5 minutes, did the job. Yep. In and out, bled like stuck pigs. I mean, that's about as much as you really want to ask for. This wouldn't fly on GCW, so that's why I kind of enjoy that, some of these things can fly down here at JCW, and I'm fine with that. I like how things fly under the radar.
Not even JCW. This is totally.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said JCW. My bad.
Totally non-canon alternate universe events we have here on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I really do like it. It's funny because it kind of shows where Brett's mind goes when he doesn't have GCW to account for, and we see JJ Allen more and things like that. So it's very, very interesting.
All right. Our next match was Cage versus AK-47.
Yeah, I kept flipping the letters back and forth when it was AK-47, and then I'm trying to say Cage. It happened a ton to me. Adam Galt officiates this match, which is fitting. He's also a backyard wrestler. That's where he started from. Great job on the video montage of Cage and AK-47 wrestling in the background when they were younger. It puts a real history behind what they're doing in the ring. This was truly a classic KBW matchup. They opened the fight on the trampoline. I felt like that's where it should have been opened up. We saw a lot of unique and new offense. I feel like that's a caveat of watching backyard wrestling is the fact that you get to see something new. Since Austin was mostly new to GCW, Cage did a great job bumping for him. Cage dislocated his elbow, still pulled off an amazing move. You'll find that online. It was viral. We got the Rings of Saturn chant.
The triple jump backflip.
Yeah, where it came from the trampoline over the top rope, bouncing off the second rope, and then a spinning twist, backflip type thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fucking wild. The finish here was the Cage kill shot, and our winner was Cage. What do you guys think in this one? 13 minutes long here.
This was everything you want from actual backyard wrestling. Not, I'm going to separate backyard wrestling and then like you have like your JJ Allen stuntman stuff. That was the backyard wrestling you wanted to see. So
JJ was on fire though.
We'll get to him. We'll get to JJ Allen being on fire.
We will. Let's see here. Cage was surprisingly popular given his alter ego's actions.
He came up to me. KJ was saying, like, "Where's that knife? Where's that knife you had, bro?"
Oh shit. Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with it. I agree with everything you guys said. I think that was I'll go John following you for the video because that video kind of got my anticipation up for this match. I didn't know kind of what to expect from AK-47, but seeing that footage, I thought gave it history, kind of gave a backstory to the match, and I was way more invested. And same thing, Frank, you said, I think this was the most backyard of backyard matches, but like top quality backyard matches that we kind of wanted to see. And yeah, it for me, it was a match of obviously the day, but going to right into great one's point there, I thought like it was kind of interesting. People cheering for Cage, but not obviously for well, I'll go. He got more love as Cage than he did as for Fuego, and obviously is more more than he's getting right now as KJ. But yeah, I thought that was a very interesting.
And he wrestled in an AJ Styles shirt, which is perfectly on brand for backyard wrestling.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, and then seeing how the match kind of played out and everything, like wow, like this what kind of makes it hard to cheer on KJ, but this is what we were rooting for it with Fuego, even that Cage was not providing this. But I loved it. I thought this was exactly what it was and could have right into some. Yeah, I was just about to say, if this was like the last match for AK, I don't know if he's a current wrestler or whatnot, if he just came out just for this one match because of everything. I thought that'd be a cool way to end that rivalry from KBW.
And if I wasn't there to witness this match live in 2025, you could tell me that this video was from 2010 and I would believe you. Because KJ was in an AJ Styles shirt. AK-47 was in the classic 2006 Mike Quackenbush long sleeve polyester shirt with the pleather pants. The classic. The gear said 2006, the move said 2025. Great stuff. And of course, and then KJ got stuffed in the back of a car and drove off into the sunset.
I want this sounds like it's a backstory of the whole KBW thing. Like if Ishmael, if you could provide it for me, T the Roach, whatever. Like I wanted if you guys know, but it sounded like you guys that look.
I didn't have it. I didn't see any of these clips you were talking about because I only watched it in person. But
okay.
I'm gonna pop right here for clown. Does AK-47 drive KJ in the trunk to Texas?
I was just about to click that. I'm like, that is the fucking most brilliant idea ever. They should just roll up into that show. KJ is like still in the same like uniform or in the same thing, all beat up, and then just strapped and hold on for right there for Sam. Yeah, I love that idea, dude, man. That is awesome.
So does he come out
Okay,
dressed
here we go.
as KJ, or does he come out dressed as Cage and you see him have to like shed clothes and dress to kind
No,
of?
he's coming in still like beat up in the same clothes from Backyard. Just literally don't wash it. Just put it back on before, dude. I love it. All right, so hold on. Here's what
Yeah,
this
could
is.
ride into the sunset.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bad.
right here, Ishmael, who's a huge Fuego KJ fan. Cage kidnapped AJ a while back, so AK-47
Okay,
got
that's cool.
revenge.
Got it.
That's
Okay.
cool for them to like finish that story on Backyard, give him the platform. Awesome. Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. And
He got Kia napped. I love
No,
that.
yeah. Thoughts and prayers to Cage, but fuck KJ.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh.
Looks like B's back in the house and filling that Modelo he's drinking on over there. What are you drinking? What was it?
Some
Sapporo.
Sapporo. I tried getting some of that garage beer after that commercial today, but my local place didn't have garage beer, unfortunately.
Well, I thought it was funny that Ref Adam Galt actually decided to still run after the Kia as the camera. We did have a drone camera though. Brett called it the garage beer blimp. So there you go, B. I see someone.
Sorry to cut you off. I lied. Like I'd say about a week ago, July 4th, I saw like a garage beer, and I'm like, man, that'd be cool. Like we haven't had PBR sponsorship in a while. If GCW could do something with garage beer, and then there was not even just this show.
It's gotta be the Cardona and Shotzi connection helping out with that, I guess.
And then I saw I heard Brett like make another kind of allusion to garage beer. Like the next, I think during one of the fights, or maybe even during the JCW, like beer cans were flying. They said, "Be careful the garage beer." And I was like, "Oh shit! If we get a garage beer like sponsorship, that'd be awesome." And then the video came out today with seems like it's for the. Just you think it's just for his podcast? I kind of wanted to bring that up today. So I think it's more.
I think it's more angled towards the towards the major podcast. But
yeah. It would be kind of nice though.
Oh, of course.
So I see someone grabbing a gallon of water and pouring it all over the ground after this match. You also see Big Vin spraying water on the ground. So initially I'm thinking, is there a mud spot? You know, I had no idea. I was thinking maybe there's going to be a spot where they get in the mud and just, like pig style, just cover each other in mud, like, Woodstock people or something. But no, it was to prepare for our next match.
And our next match is JJ Allen versus Tarzan.
Yeah, so JJ comes out first. He's in a full fire suit. He
walks over a lit firework.
So no shit. He really banked on that working, and it worked.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So nothing happened wrong until he took off the fire mask, leather type looking thing. And then you could see the back of his like white, what is that? What do you call that?
Ski mask.
Ski mask. Yeah. Caught fire and he had to jump into the pool. For a moment there, you could see the water looked like it was burning. That was fucking wild. I give him credit for that. Honestly, he always tries to do something special and different from the rest of the card. I know people are somewhat rough on him here and there, but right now I'm again okay with maybe just giving him one match on a GCW card somewhere, just because of pure effort alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's GCW. I mean, effort is like,
I was 15, 20 feet away from that fireball, and I still felt it. Like it was like I was not anywhere near you would expect me to feel that fireball, and you could still feel the heat coming off of that thing when he went up.
Oh my God.
When he got into the pool and like he thought he was in the clear, and then you just see him try to take the mask off, and it's still like the fire's right there in his face. That was crazy, man.
Lucky that could have been a lot worse.
It made for a great album cover as Nacho.
That picture was awesome.
So that's the thing is I'm surprised GCW didn't use that all over their fucking like social media sites.
Yeah, you would think.
Dude, a shirt, GCW with just a motherfucker on fire from head to toe, and it's a real picture. Come on, where else are you gonna get that? Tarzan lighting blunts and passing them into the crowd. He's jumping barbed wire rope. Brett really got comfortable and started to have fun on the mic. At one point, both were arm wrestling with fireworks going off underneath them. We hear Marcus Mathers getting on the mic. He's talking about petting baby deer and goats. He's talking about reindeer. Brett says he has a wrestler on his roster that has a red nose. Who do you think that is?
Jimmy.
Anybody else want to? I don't even want to, because we got to say hi to everyone in LA when they come by. But he's the one who said it, not us. Look, B's going off camera right now for this one. He's laughing. Tarzan wraps the top rope with a towel and lights the towel on fire. Brett sold it as a big joint that obviously was more like one of those Japanese lit fire joints, if anything. Our finish here, they had firecrackers on a door. Tarzan lit them. JJ picks up Tarzan and hits a huge exploder and a roll up for 3. Our winner was JJ Allen. A 14-minute match. A very pyro centered match, I'd like to say, between both of the gentlemen. What do you have to say here between Tarzan and JJ?
And sorry, real fast, when you said pyro centric match, I wanted Vampiro. I want Facade. Facade just like feels like perfectly right into this match, man. Like Facade's like my backyard wrestler. I want to see out on every show for sure. But go ahead, Frank. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, it's like it did exactly what it wanted to do. You just wanted to see, you just wanted to see explosions, people on fire, and then just wacky spots with like, the rope on fire and barbed wire all over the place. It did exactly what you needed it to do.
Well, after this match was over, since Marcus was on the microphone, Brett kind of wanted to surprise us a little bit. And so announced for Bash at the Ballpark is going to be Amazing Red versus Marcus Mathers. Talk about a badass little matchup
Right?
here we got. Great place to do it too, at the ballpark.
And I will be live for that show too. So that'll be my next show. Will be backyard. I'm not backyard. Will be Bash at the Ballpark. So
same thing. Are you going to try to get a little media there and whatnot too?
I'm going to see, because I know security is hella tight because it's a ballpark and it's not just like a concert venue where, there's a side door and somebody's working the door and you can slip stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit tougher. I'll try, but I doubt I'll hit anything, but we can always hope.
I need to, what do you think about like a lavalier?
I have an idea for that. I'll hit you up after the show. Frank,
all right. We'll talk about that later.
B, we've talked about this before. Frank is not going to stuff anything in his ass just to get it into a baseball game. We've talked about this. What a great way to just, like I said, professionalism.
Nobody clipped that at all. Nobody.
Oh, we're asking for it here. Okay. Let's see. Havoc Pro, nice to see you in here. Welcome. Havoc. Hey, Brent, John, and Frankie. Yeah, good to see you, TJ. Welcome in here. All right. So I think that's all I had to say about that match. And yeah, there wasn't much more into it for me.
All right. Our next match is Sleepy Ed versus Cocaine.
This is what you talk about when people talk about contrasting styles. This is what we want to see.
This is the duality in the sportsmanship that we were looking for. The sleeper versus the cokehead. All right, so Cocaine was pouring cocaine over Sleepy Ed, and that's when Sleepy woke up. Cocaine was in a chokehold, and he gives himself cocaine and comes alive. Brett says, I have a couple numbers on my roster who look like they're high on DMT 24/7. I won't even guess who the fuck that is. I'm guessing he thought he went over on the red nose one, so he figured he'd double down on a DMT joke. The finish here, Sleepy spits NyQuil into Cocaine's face. There was an elbow drop and a cover for the win. Our winner here in 3 minutes and 38 seconds was Sleepy Ed. I feel like this was just a fun little match. Again, about as serious as the Slaughter kind of, match. It was just in and out.
And here's what I can appreciate from both of them. They're fun, but they didn't get dragged on longer than the 5 minutes that it needed to be. It was quick ones, told the fun story, get the joke in, haha. And it was it was for what it should be. Like, I'm glad that they didn't drag the joke on and kind of take away from other stuff that we saw, obviously.
I'd call that perfect timing, honestly. They got the fucking point across and they didn't drag everybody out. I mean, easy in, easy out. Not bad.
Yep.
Anything on this one, Frank?
No, I mean, it did not feel like 3 minutes. It felt like it went longer. Like I say that in the best way possible. Like, I could have sat there and watched that go on for longer. But if it only went on for 4 minutes, great.
Yeah. Also, I like the joke that someone got on the mic and said they have a raffle for $225,000.
I was one number off, God damn it. Marzano took all the fucking tickets.
Yeah, 225,000. Marzano said he found a wife at the Cracker Barrel that same night. So, you want to talk about a lucky man? Almost $250,000 and love within one night. Good for him, man.
Stupid
Lucky
fucking
dude.
Raffle tickets.
I'll never buy those again. All right. Anything else on this one before we move on?
Nah.
No, I mean, haha, NyQuil versus Coke. You know, that's all we needed to say about that.
Some of us like to call that Thursday night, but hey.
Hey, yo.
Hey.
All right, next matchup is Jumpin' Joey Janela versus Crazy Mike.
All right. Crazy Mike had a flamethrower. I think that's all that needs to be said there. We had a chair with firecrackers, barbed wire wrapped door. Mike got on top of the barn. He lit firecrackers and jumped off the roof onto Joey. On the finish, Joey shoots Mike in the balls with a paintball gun. Our winner here in 10 minutes. I don't know why, but 10 and a half minutes. Our winner was Joey Janela. Thoughts on this match?
By paintball gun to the ball sack.
It's a new one. I like it.
I mean, those are words in the English language. They sure are. That was the epitome of a Joey match. It had no story. It had no build up. It was just
and something unique.
It was just something funny on its own terms. Yeah, it was good.
What do you think, babe?
I didn't have much to it was match. Yeah.
Like we always said, you know, it's not. You're not expecting world-class talent. You're not expecting, 6 stars at the Tokyo Dome at these backyard shows. You're here for the car crash spectacle, not for the actual wrestling. So,
Joey's entrance music was Party in the USA, right?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because they played that at the beginning of their show, and I'm like, oh shit, they're starting off with the Joey match. Like, and then I didn't see Joey come.
No, I think they were just playing random songs that mentioned 4th of July or Born in the USA or stuff like that.
Because that's the song that like it stuck to my head of the backyard show I went to when he was on when he wrestled his cousin. He was on like the scooter. They played the song the whole match, and like that's what Donnie makes me. Yeah, him and Donnie. Like it.
They knew Jack to Party in the USA.
Exactly. So like that song's fried in my memory as like Joey's backyard wrestling entrance music.
Got it.
Then I heard it at the beginning, and it kind of ruined it. So that's why I was like, wait, real quick, I didn't make a note, but did anyone catch what the entrance was? But whatever, doesn't matter.
So after this match, Joey gets on the mic and says that he's known Mike since high school. So I mean, just let you know how small Jersey is, right?
Jersey is so tiny when you actually go around. It's minuscule. Like from where I live to Atlantic City, I'm 3/4 up the state, and it's only a 90-minute drive. We are not a big state, so
yeah. The only thing that stops you from getting out of there further is the traffic.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And many people had words about how bad the traffic was on the 4th of July trying to get to the middle of nowhere Jersey for this show.
Yeah. Anything else on this match? It was just
firecrackers. That was the jackass style of backyard wrestling.
I think that's about the best way to put it too.
Yeah. You paintball guns, firecrackers, wild spots, beautiful.
Joey Janela.
Yeah.
I love it. Big Vin's lighting off fireworks now. That's the next thing we had. Brett makes everyone yell big fuck Vin over and over, or he threatens he'll be there.
Big fuck Vin.
Big fuck Vin. And he even says if we don't start chanting it, they were going to be there all night. That was which most of the fans wouldn't mind. Vin was marching around with fireworks. I thought it was cool, a little patriotic. He's just having fun in his own backyard.
And that will lead us to the main event, as it is the no ropes barbed wire match between Little Skittle and Mr. J Part 2.
I'm going to be so biased about this because I know both of these guys personally. So it's such a match that everybody there, like, this is what I say. This is the super fans. It's like we're all there hyping up Jay and Skit because We
Right.
know them. It's
Mhm.
not like, show friends where you see them every so often. No, we see them like sometimes while I'm talking to these guys at least once a week or so. So,
I just want to break for a second because we've got this right here. Husk,
uh,
you're a little early, Beast Man. We're definitely going to be talking about you
I
here.
was
Coming up later tonight.
accosted by Beastman's translator outside of the House of Independence in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
What are you talking about? Let's hear it.
Oh, Beastman's translator says that I was the one responsible for him slipping at TLS.
Oh no,
which is
no.
a bold-faced lie. Absolutely not.
Was he serious though, or was he just kind of playing with you?
Yeah,
You don't know. You don't know.
What do I know? I'm just a fan.
Yeah. We're all on the same side, Beast. Let me tell you that much, Mr. Man. We're all on the same side. We actually do want to see all of you succeed, like I said. So yeah, that's the last thing that we'd want to see. If anything, we want to see you fly to the ring. We'd push it. All right. Okay. So in this match here, the main event, I want to just say huge credit for Skittle doing it right. We open with a promo. I think that's how it should be done. He runs down the history between them both. It catches everyone up. And I'll be honest with you, it's the most professional thing I think we saw was the promo
this
there.
was, I think, could have been the most technical match of the night. This was absolutely the most straightforward wrestling match of the night.
Listen to you. I'll leave those statements hang. I don't know, man. I'm not going to fight you on that one now that I'm kind of thinking about it.
Right? I mean, yes, of course there are other matches like the Scramble, which is like, that's straight out of GCW's playbook. But, just yeah. Love you, Beast. But it was so straightforward. Like this, if this match wasn't between Jay and Skit as we know them as, the Backyarders who like we found footage of these Backyarders and we broadcast them as interstitials last year at Backyard 6, and then they had their match at Backyard 6 with the rematch here at 7. That could have been a match at any other, Indian in the country. Just two guys going at it, no rope,
And I want to say they improved from last year. Like, this is not a knock. Like last year it was kind of just thrown together. Hey, Backyard.
Last year was literally like, hey, we have Backyarders. Let's watch Backyarders fight on Backyard,
And I could tell, like you could see they put in some training and like they made it look really like the way even Skittle, like when he got thrown out and kind of did the Sabu spot out to the door and out through the ropes, like you just see his body kind of like he like as he's going through, he throws his body limp, kind of like how Sabu did before, like to take the bump. Like no, like that's how like he did it. Like you could kind of tell, like it's the little mannerisms I kind of noticed from both of them. Like I saw improvement. Like that's what I kind of took away from all this. Like was how much they both improved and kind of took this one. Not saying they didn't take the first one seriously. I think they had way more time to take this more seriously and take a match more seriously if they ever were to have a second one like they did. And I saw a more serious match in this one. And I enjoyed it. As you kind of said, that it was a technical masterpiece, but compared to last year, it was. No offense.
I mean, as far as we know, this was the earliest announced match for Backyard because this was announced all on like way back during some random Twitter space. I think back in like April or something, right, John?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, I was at that Twitter space. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. If it was announced then, it was like it was announced on Patreon like right afterwards. But yeah,
it was literally we're just joking about. It's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be Skittle and Jay rematch in No Rope Barbed. I'm like, really? Okay, here we go. Like,
oh man, yeah. So I'll go through the match real quick and we'll talk about the situation with Skittle and Jay for sure. There was barbed wire everywhere. Barbed wire covered boards, doors, chairs, fists. Skittle was the fan favorite, just like Frankie was saying, where, when you're at, I'll be honest, you were in Skittle's house there. That was just kind of how that went. Yeah. Nasty chair shots to the head by Jay. I just wanted to mention he ate a few there. Skittle flew through the barbed wire Sabu style and fell to the ground. You can actually see staff run over to check on him. Once Skittle finally got up, you could see he's just covered in blood. The drone shot of the whole thing was amazing. Great job by GPW there. Skittle then he goes through the kids' play castle just like a minute or two later. And wow. Now I almost wonder if he was supposed to hit that castle first and went off to the side or
I
whatnot.
think so. Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to, man, there was enough given those ropes, but I don't know, man. Whatever it did, it looked fucking good. We'll just put it that way. I smiled a little bit. I never thought about the old crisscross applesauce stunner. That for me was the move of the year.
Yep, loved it as a teacher.
And our finish here, Skittle choked out Mr. J, and our winner was Skittle in the main event. So here's what I wrote. Is this our next Jimmy Lloyd style wrestler where we see him grow from the bottom to the top? Could Skittle be a true homegrown talent? Would anybody else be interested in seeing year after year the improvement up to and basically maybe coming into what could be a saga? And we could see the untrained from the first match all of a sudden to where they tear it down by match 7 or 8. They have a whole year to plan.
I want to see Skittle and Mr. J Mr. J next year as a tag team going against kind of like some not big name death matchers, but like, some like reputable name backyard matches. Kind of have who I was thinking Sicko. I couldn't think of a second one. I was going Dr. Redacted as a second one, but Danger's not a bad one either. Yeah, Sicko was my number one choice, but I would like to see a tag match, kind of them two now. Kind of like, as you said though, John, I would love to see it. Like, why not make it an annual thing? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, they haven't put on last year. I was kind of saying, okay, that was kind of like something like a match that was kind of given to them kind of thing. But after seeing their work this year, I think they've earned it this year. They showed they earned it. And I think after another year of growth, I would like to see them kind of continue on in backyard wrestling as a tradition. Just like you said, John.
I think the climb, the growth would be fun to watch. And we have the history every show they have.
At such an unimportant show like Backyard. And
I just think it's organic.
And have this like prestige match, like just being centered around this whole joke of a pay-per-view. I'm not offending anybody who wants that. It's always a joke of a pay-per-view. I think, and like I actually have words about that. If I think we're pretty much we'll finish up with this match and then we'll come back to this. What I have to say about the pay-per-view as a whole, but yeah. So we had this is the second time they've done it on the pay-per-view, but I think this is their 4th or 5th encounter lifetime.
When I said two, I meant GCW too. I know they had. I remember they had a first one before the backyard last year because they showed footage of that match before last year even.
Yeah, because Skittle does his own, like he books his own little show in his backyard upstate New York, and he just did one 2-3 weeks ago, which was the most recent one.
Gage was there.
Gage was there, yeah. So
does he need a commentary team? Just kidding.
No, he was actually fighting.
No, he was, dude.
I was joking. I was saying, hey, does Skittle need a commentary team? We'll get some practice over there first, John, me and you.
There you go, Skittle. Send me the tape. We'll do a voiceover later for free. Well, for me, for free. Brant wants his caveats. He's like, I want my first class airfare. He wants the top couch in the living room. He wants a couple cases of water at the venue before
for breakfast, and we're good.
Oh wow!
It's brand name cereal. Ooh,
CTC. Oh, we are not affiliated at all with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
There we go.
It's free on YouTube. All right.
We'll put it in the link here. We'll put the link in the chat. We're good. Frank, sorry to cut you off, Frank. Go back to your point, Frank.
It's so Backyard now is not the same Backyard as it is when the show started. Back in like Backyard 1, Backyard 2, Backyard 3, and I think that's the era I'm going to talk about. The allure of the show was these are the people you see week to week running their backyard gimmicks. You know, doing the dumb shit with the trampoline jump into the above ground pool. You know, doing the crazy shit, but it was most of the roster regulars doing it. And somewhere I think after COVID, it evolved into this other thing. And there's good and there's bad to that. There's, you know, I was talking to a couple people who were like, you know, those early shows were just, you know, untouchable. And I'm not saying that these newer shows aren't bad. It's just different, and it's sort of lost the plot from what we thought this was way back in the day. And I think this is probably just nostalgia talking at this point, but you know, it's
I will agree. Maybe like the quality and kind of like the hype is a little different, and kind of what people are going in expecting as a fan watching it live might be different now than compared to those first three.
Yeah.
But like you said, those first three, like those are like my first three favorite ones to watch as well. Like, but I think the ones we've seen since then, they're trying to get to like that kind of stuff. Yes,
Yeah.
but with different names and different, obviously, characters, quality and stuff. But like, I loved like those first three because I'm gonna go to Ricky Crash versus Natus, Jody Threat. Like that was like seeing those two and like those two different characters played and what they did in Backyard and how different they completely were and just how fun. Like that was one of my favorite matches ever of Backyard Wrestling. But seeing like not Joey Janela or Tony Deppen, but seeing like Pizza Cat Jr. in different ways and different styles and like different characters. I love seeing like those people have fun and kind of showcase a different style than normal.
Like I said, it was
as much.
It was the week-to-week roster. It was the standard
exactly.
week-to-week roster. Nowadays, it's like, yes, we have Joey, yes, we have Tony, but it's not the whole roster.
Yeah, or, like, the first one and second one were pretty much the entire roster. Throw in a couple Backyard names that were big names that we saw occasionally. Correct. Yeah, I agree.
Or there was like one or two crew guys who also wrestle who were like thrown on as like, the fourth guy on a 10-man tag type thing,
Yeah.
Well, then I'll just I'll get ahead of myself just for a minute, but just announced for Friday, July 11th, this is at that Dallas show, Elena Black versus Priscilla Kelly will now happen. I just got the announcement 7 minutes ago. I think that's what we were looking for between those two.
That's a huge match that like I'll be glad to see that match under the GCW banner.
Yeah, damn, man.
That was one, like obviously that was the one I was expecting, and throw in once Shotzi's able to get there too. Like, I think those three are going to kind of run GCW and kind of have a lot of fun stuff to do in GCW over this summer. And yeah, that first match being announced is going to be a fun start of it.
Well, then let me go back up to my notes here real quick before anything else was Skittle. So I also polled the fans just for fun, just to see what they think about having an annual Skittle J match. 66% of the fans said yes. That doesn't mean the other 34% said no. Actually, half of that was even split as indifferent. But 2 out of 3 fans said, hell yeah, we'd like to see it go every year just to see what happens. And yeah, I see the long picture. I could see the payoff being, what are they going to do in Backyard? Their 6th matchup. What's it going to look like? What's the 7th? Oh, they went this route this year. How are they going to do it next year? So, now Brett did announce after the show went off the air that we will see Skittle and Jay again next year in a cage match. So I think that's what's going to happen. Brett was really feeling himself, so you never know, but if he said it and made the announcement, then that is what it is. I'm cool with it. That's exactly what we were
talking about. With that too. That's why I was like, wait, why did we talk all that time? Then I didn't know that.
But I will say, initially, when I saw that it was Skittle and Jay, I looked at the match from last year and I go, okay, they're going no rope barbed wire. That's going to be rough. You know what I mean? We've seen some of the greats get ripped up with barbed wire, and that's the last thing you want to see is someone who loves wrestling this much, who's busting their ass and doing all the improvement that they can to go out there and just get sliced. So I was really worried about that. I even posted in the newsroom. I'm like, man, I hope he don't get injured. I really like the guy, and then they fucking delivered. So I'm waiting
for Terracotta Taipei in a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, TJ, right before you were in here, we were talking about Vermont. That's a pretty cool little announcement for sure. So yeah, whoever's up in the New England area, especially like Maine and whatnot, I don't know how many hours it is, but that's probably going to be your closest ride outside of somewhere like Hartford or no, that would be it. So yeah, Maine fans especially, I think that's the one you want to probably try to get to. We'll see what happens. Anything else about Backyard Wrestling 7 before we close out that one?
No, I think I got all my notes of all the little here's and there's throughout that. I mean, we covered that in almost an hour. I think a little more than an hour. So
yeah, we did okay. We'll speed. JCW will be a little quicker, guys. So don't
JCW
sweat.
will be a lot quicker, but Hartford, I think we're gonna have to take a time on Hartford.
Yeah, we're still good. Everybody's feeling good. We don't need to take a break just yet. We're doing all right.
I think we're good. I think we'll take our breather after Hartford because this one's gonna be a minute here, boys. So strap in.
Sounds good, man. All right. Rock and roll, brother.
All right, we're gonna go into GCW's top play from the Webster Theater in Hartford, Connecticut. Sorry, that's it.
What a night, man. All right. So I wrote here the crowd is loud. Good job by GPW to make sure that microphone picked up everything perfectly. Good job by the Hartford fans. That crowd showed up. Could this be partially from bringing in the recent talent plus recent WWE releases? I have that in my notes. We already talked about it. The answer is we believe yes. The truth is they sell seats. We've seen some WWE cast-offs come through and not sell seats, and we've seen others who do. You know, we've seen Top Dollar come through here.
The room is like so perfectly set up for GCW too. Just
really
the Webster as like on TV, it just looks so perfect with just the right amount of people on the floor around the ring with the stage with the wings and your GA in the back. I think it looks great.
When they went to Hartford, like the first time, or was it Hartford, like when they kind of made a big deal for like Alec Price and like a homecoming, they threw the streamers in it. Was that Hartford, Connecticut, or am I completely wrong there?
Or was that Boston?
They didn't go to Boston yet.
That might be Rhode Island.
You're right. Oh, maybe.
Okay, because I was going to ask like if that was the same venue or same, like it would look like different, but I could be thinking of two different places.
I think that was Providence.
Okay, my bad. Continue.
Any historians in the crowd, feel free.
I should know that. I'm like the venue person, but you know, like I'm that one cannot. There's only been one time. I can't remember it.
Yeah, and I can usually pull some of those out too. So I think it was Providence.
I'll go back while you're talking here.
Cool stuff. Yeah, I just also wrote here that I think the GCW talent in the locker room has been rising to the occasion when these bigger shows do go down. I think it's important for them to have extra fire under their ass, especially when they have new eyeballs in the seats. The live GCW experience is probably one of the best you can get on the independent scene. And I think if you're going to get new fans, it's going to be with them live at the event. So if anything, I'm really hoping that this bump in 20-30% in ticket sales, whatever it is, if at least half of those come back, we're still looking at a bigger show than we would have gotten on average 2 or 3 shows ago. Oh, I'm really looking forward to it here. The average match time on this show was 13 minutes exactly. Put that times 10 matches. We're looking at over 2 hours of action here. So it was a very, very thick show.
And Frank, you were right. It was Rhode Island.
Was it?
Providence.
Nice.
That's that. All right. Our first match is a scramble, as it is Jackson Drake, Dustin Waller, KJ Orso, Ashley Vox, Anthony Green, and TJ Crawford.
KJ comes out and says he's above being in scrambles matches. I want to say he got the response he wanted here. He's getting Dominic Mysterio heat in my mind. And if you listen to it on TV, that's kind of what's happening here. He just starts to talk and it's just instant boo. Yeah, he said he was going to join Emil on commentary because he doesn't need to be here. And that's exactly what he does. For the rest of the match or until the end, he just decides to sit in commentary.
And actually it dodges questions about what are you doing here by actually putting in commentary.
Hey man, I mean, they're using him to the best of his ability. Well, he's a dual threat right now. You know what I mean? He can do just as much in the ring as he can on the microphone. Still getting the point across.
And
he's
especially with that, I got a lot to say on this match, but on just this quick part. But especially if he just got, there we go. Damn it, great one. Great one's beating me to the punch every time. I was just saying, like, I know you made that point in the chat, and I was thinking the exact same thing when I saw it live before. I was like, wow, that's brilliant. If he's hurt and he can't wrestle, you know he's going to put himself over and put everyone else over in that match and the story, all on commentary, which he did a bet. Like, he was more useful on commentary throughout this match to push all those things and everybody than he would have been in the ring. So I thought that was absolutely brilliant booking and use
and
of
putting him in the
and,
scramble. Oh, sorry.
No, and you put him in the scramble to hide the injury to get the victory was I thought it was brilliant. On top of everything else I'm going to say later, I thought just that KJ part was brilliant.
All right. So
we're thinking the exact same thing. So yeah.
Oh, is that what you were going to say? Because I know I cut you off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, that's good. I mean, you guys got the thing figured out enough. You're like, okay, this is how I would do it if I were the owner, and it just made sense. KJ says he's above, blah, blah, blah. That's what he does. All right. So Drake opened the match with a stiff kick to Ashley Vox. I wish I saw more of Ashley. Her and Anthony Green had great responses from the fans. Green with a killer move on Drake. He knocked him off the top rope and turned it into a cutter. Welcome to GCW TJ Crawford, 28 years old from Chicago, Illinois, 9 years in-ring experience, trained at Creative Pro Academy, 8-time champion and the current BP Tag Team Champion with Becca, 102 days and counting. Same thing. I do wish I saw more of him. I only saw him in flashes. What I see was excellent. Please bring him back. I'll stop there. Do you guys want to talk about anything there before we?
I saw somebody call this the Wrestling Open Scramble, and I don't watch enough Wrestling Open to know how many of these people are on Wrestling Open week to week. But that definitely I think it checks out, just being, all these more Boston oriented names rather than the more Philly oriented names that GCW tends to roll with. So
good.
Yeah, they were awesome. Like, I thought I saw TJ Crawford before in GCW, but it must have been somewhere else, and I haven't seen much of him. Wow. Yeah, bring him back.
He looked familiar to me because I think I saw him in Raw way back in the day when he was with at Pat Buck's Fed here in Jersey.
Yeah. Wow. He was awesome. Bring him back. Anthony Green, awesome to see him back. I haven't seen him in the States in a minute, I think. I think he's been working in Noah or somewhere over in Japan.
Working in Japan, yeah.
So it was his improvement from then now was awesome. I agree with you, John. Same thing with Vox. Whatever she was in there doing the Canadian Destroyers, or trying to do it, and she's just get the good pops and doing the surprising moves, but also to be tossed around and be for a heel is a perfect face for a heel. She was amazing too, and Dustin Waller, his improvement's crazy. And I think Jackson Drake belongs. I will go on to I know you're kind of what next note was this is awesome. For me, I started writing notes in the show, and this is the only note I wrote the show. This scramble was one of the best ones I've seen all year. The energy from the crowd, all the the moves from it was awesome. I loved it. It felt like a old school GCW scramble. I was so happy.
This is absolutely an old school.
Yeah. I was this is going to be a start of a show, man. If the crowd stays this hot, this is going to be an awesome show. And I just thought it was a great way to open it, and kind of a hard way to follow after opening it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And Dustin Waller showed out too. The crowd was hot for him. And another one I wish I would have seen more of during the match, for sure. Our finish here, KJ rushes in to deliver a foot stomp to Ashley, then covers her for 3. Poor Ashley Vox got the shit end of the deal quite a few times during that match. Our winner here was KJ Orso. Good job on KJ. He's getting his heat, and honestly, I'm actually happy for him. I feel like he's getting exactly what he wanted. And again, I feel there's Dominic Mysterio heat there starting to boil up on him. Fans do not want to hear his shit.
No, absolutely not.
All right, next match is for the JCW World Championship as Masha Slamovich defends it against Tony Deppen.
The match opens. Tony is threatening to leave the ring. He runs around and plays games. Deppen and Masha got a little personal when he shot a snot rocket onto her. It's fucking disgusting. Fans weren't behind Deppen. Putting his shirt on her was funny. He takes time between brief pauses to work the crowd. This kind of work Tony's Deppen would go over like crazy in Japan. That pace fits the style. Masha's somersault senton from the top rope. Nice catch by Deppen. She follows by running on the stage and hitting a huge crossbody. Huge Masha chance. Fans love her in Hartford. Our finish here, I believe it was the White Knight Driver, our winner, and still the JCW World Champion, Masha Slamovich. This is almost 12 minutes long. My notes just don't do it justice. What do you guys think here with a classic Masha versus Tony, 2 GCW old guard, going at it?
Like I've said it before, Tony matches, you can't go, Tony doesn't have a bad match. He hasn't had a bad match in a minute. And Masha, it's the same thing. We've said the same thing about Masha. She always puts on decent matches, at least. So like this was fun. This was also, but it also had that same stink of we knew the outcome of this one already. We're waiting for an honest to God challenger for that JCW belt, and I think that's going to happen on JCW proper rather than it being on a GCW show. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, Tony Deppen putting his shirt on Masha as a response to put your shirt on chance was a classic Deppen. Yeah, that was good. I will get into it for a second. I still see a lot of Deppen in Zeta Steel, and I almost hope that Deppen spends a little time with her.
You said that, and now I can't stop thinking about it when I see it. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right that Zeta has that same, fuck you, get away from me heel energy that Tony does.
Yeah. And I saw it and I went, man, I hope Tony kind of takes her under his wing just a little and goes, here, how you work this, here's how you work that. And just pass a little on, because she's doing what he did for years.
But she's doing it through the lens of a old school WWE diva, which which is the great twist. Yeah.
I love it. What you think it'd be?
I was expecting a little bit more from this match, but like kind of why I'm had the same feeling going into and watching is like as Frank said, I already know what was going to happen, so it didn't matter. And I was going to talk about it later, but I guess I'll talk about it now. It's kind of funny, like the next night Tony seemed to care more about the JCW title than this night, since he got on top of a title shot. He's going to get a $25,000 bounty, so he seemed way more interested in the title the next night than he did the night before. So I don't know, just kind of like I'm at this point, right? I just want to see something happen with this Foxcatcher, something happen with the JCW title. It was a good match, and another string on the string of title defenses that she's had as of late. Masha, I thought this was a good match, not compared to the other ones, and I just want something to happen. Like it's just got to happen at some point for me.
This one was just, it fell into the category of an also ran on this card just by being virtue of it.
And it followed on that match, the match prior. Like I think that's what kind of wore me out too. The difference of it, I was just kind of like, All right, next match is Pero versus Richard Holiday.
A video was played showing the saga between Pero and Holiday. Very well done. Richard comes out. He's in black with a red carnation. I think it's a good look. He says fans need to get their anger out of their system because he's leaving. No one has the right to be in the same room as him. He calls everyone idiots and says everyone wants Richard Holiday. The music hits. Pero comes out. Fans are chanting, "You fucked up." The stare down was intense. Pero's gonna kill you, we hear from the fans, just like he did with Mason. Is Holiday creating another face in Pero? I want to ask you guys that real quick before I go further. Do you think that Holiday is a face maker?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that his superpower?
He's such a shithead. Sorry, my camera's off. He's such a shithead. He made us cheer Charles Mason.
Yeah.
I'm about to say that's what makes him so useful, I think, as a wrestler right now in GCW. He could put him against like an up-and-comer face. Like I would be I'll get to it later here. I'll get to a point here later. I got a better point.
That's a fantastic point, dude. Right now, I think that if Holiday wasn't on his way out, I would be serving him faces left and right.
If he's on his way out, I have a little thing here I'm going to talk about. But
you can't trust a heel. You can't trust a heel. You never know, right?
Yeah, but I mean, this one, after we get to the end of this match, I'll say bring me back to this point, please, because I do want to talk about it, but just not right now.
Okie doke. Pero threw Richard through a door. Great job by Richard for not falling on a ton of glass tubes and glass panes. I don't know if anybody looked at that, but
I saw that spot. Yeah.
That would have been funny for like on his way out. That shit happens, and he's like, "See, this is the reason why."
I'll tell you what, I felt like maybe just for a split second he went, "Oh fuck," in his head. You know what I mean? Like, let's see here.
That's what I'm getting to later.
Okay. It's funny. We're all kind of on the same thoughts, though. That's interesting. Yeah. So a miscommunication could have injured Richard very bad that night. So I think that's something worth knowing here is, it's just, I don't know on whose part, but that miscommunication could have really injured a good wrestler. Richard was blowing powder in Pero's face, blinding him. There was a low blow after the struggle. Our finish here, Pero grabbed Holiday by the throat and a huge choke slam and covers for 3. Our winner was Pero. I wrote in here, good match, less than 9 minutes, told a story, did the job, got in and got out. As Holiday is collecting himself after the match, fans are chanting the "Nah Nah Hey Hey Goodbye" song. And I'll stop right there. Brent, you wanted to go back for a minute and talk about a previous point there.
Yeah, well, real fast at the beginning of this match, I was kind of laughing and kind of hoping we would get that squash match of like just a choke slam by Holiday and kind of like him rolling out of the ring all mad and just like that's how he leaves GCW to kind of cause a controversy. Going into here, he's leaving GCW. He's got MLW and big cash. Apparently, he seems like a big enough name to throw money at all these people to do the hard work for him. I could see him being the Foxcatcher, and that's how he still sticks around and kind of is around GCW, and maybe is thrown in GCW unwillingly just because of somehow some connection. But also, I would be building him up for someone like a Marcus Mathers. If that's what they're building JCW for, like the long haul, get a name on the WWID program and have him fight for Marcus or fight against Richard Holiday and for the JCW title. Like that would help build Marcus Mathers' name up, I think, tremendously. I think just instantly, as you said, anybody could get heat, and I think I would be using his heat to build up these names like Mathers, like well, I would say Cartwheel, but he's not really with us no more. But like those singles wrestlers that are like right there and just need that extra crowd motivation, crowd cheers. I think Holiday is very, very useful in that way. And I think Holiday is my new guest now to be the Foxcatcher.
It makes sense.
Damn
to
you,
say
Crow.
it, yeah.
Great One says he's promoting his own indie show next month. I don't think he's signing a contract above another MLW deal. Thoughts there?
And well, see, here's what I think, like as JCW title, like going into this whole Trey Mad Dog Connolly and all the chaos with Beastman and all the chaos in JCW, I see Holiday being like that title holder saying like, hey, this JCW is not like GCW. We're not going to do this shit, and kind of like creating, even if it's temporarily to see how it works, JCW and a kind of more pure rules, get away from that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Kind of character and kind of creating a new image and company based around Holiday. And I think I don't know, for me it just kind of fits along with kind of everything going into with that belt.
I'll save my thoughts for JCW when we talk about Sunday. So
my last little note, from far away, I could see Holiday and Griffin McCoy working together. From far away, Holiday, just for a moment, I saw Griffin McCoy. It was the mustache. So maybe we can call them a team like Mustache Ride. Hey, it's GCW. That's actually a very good name. The other option was the Mustache Riders, but I didn't want to go with that one for them. But yeah, I mean, just for fun, just to gain heat, just to piss off the men. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't say all the ideas were going to be good tonight. Damn it.
Thanks. I hate it. All right.
All right. Our next match is Elena Black versus Zeta Steel.
All right. Zeta was out first. She got a great reception. Elena then came out next. I noticed there was no coffin this time. I honestly figured it'd be hard to travel with that thing unless it's like a chain carry-on, like a purse. Like maybe it's a purse that has otherwise, who the hell wants to lug that thing around for like just a little to pull out a piece of paper, Didn't
she used to have like a little one that was like purse size? I thought she used to carry around.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, well, unless she has a chain on it.
Unless she's driving, if she's driving or taking a ride with somebody, I mean, it'd be a lot easier than flying with that thing,
But yeah, it just seems like a big pain in the ass, and it seems kind of like an independent wrestling decision. And now that I think she's gone along further, she may have been like, this is a pain in the ass to carry with,
I've seen that a couple people have, like, I've seen Shotzi without her helmet on a couple shows. I've seen Beastman without his hood skin, whatever you want to call it, on a couple shows. It's one of those things, like, I guess it's just too big to travel with these days,
Carry-on prices are outrageous now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It might be a
Yeah.
purse. Like she keeps it also as a makeup thing. It puts a gear in there, like what
That's
else
why
can you do?
Griffin doesn't wear his watch no more.
Someone said, Crow said, imagine Holiday becoming a masked wrestler. That's a possibility. Like the Hogan thing where it's Captain America. It's 9:30. I just got back. Good to see you, Reed. We've been talking all kinds of mad shit about you, buddy. You have to go back and hear it.
Sorry, real fast. Imagine Holiday becoming a masked wrestler. Isn't that what this whole Foxcatcher gimmick is? The person in the mask?
No, this is more anonymous Raw GM rather than Juan Cena.
I like Juan Cena.
Yeah, true, I guess.
Oh man. Yeah. Even Southwest is charging for bags now.
Everybody remembers Juan Cena, right? John Cena's Mexican cousin, so he could still be on the house shows.
Let's see here. Interesting matchup. Someone who's on their way into WWE meeting someone who's on their way out of WWE. If she isn't touchy about it, I would have sold that angle just because it would have been a great thing to do. I think if it was a bigger show, they would have sold that angle. I'm on my up, you're here, so on and so forth. You're going to need to get the hell out of my way. You know what I mean? Watching them wrestle, the style was a mix of WWE and independent styles. I thought it was a nice little mix. Zeta worked Elena more than I expected, especially through the first half of the match. The finish here, Elena delivers a DDT and covers for 3. Winner, Elena Black. Thoughts on this match? It was only less than 7 minutes, which is kind of wild for who they both are.
Yeah, that was kind of like the weird part. Like, I kind of want to see Zeta Steel wrestle, get her, have a 10-minute match to showcase a little bit more of her wrestling. Like, I know I love that we love the character, it's working. I would just like to see her showcase a little bit more of the wrestling, especially against Elena Black. I definitely thought this was gonna be longer, but it ended pretty quick. But I don't know, I don't feel like it needed to go longer either because there's no story really to be told. But I was just kind of hoping for a little bit longer match. But
when we talk about
it was what it was.
When we talk about all these stories, we're just kind of pulling these stories out of thin air. It's like, here's what you could have sold this match as. Yep. But I mean, in the long run, it was just another match on a 10-match card. So I mean,
yeah, it kind of felt like a tune-up match for Elena Black. Kind of I mean, Joey, she should have had a tune-up before.
The whole point towards the end of the match was Elena going to get her win? Was she going to get her win so she could get in her indie groove? That's how Brett and Emil were kind of selling this match at the end of it.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to give Zeta credit for, on the way out, she's still fighting and arguing with fans while selling injuries. You know how people, after the end of the match, the person's holding their head and walking out. She was arguing and fighting, she's still working at the same time. So I just want to say, big fan of that too. Again, that's totally Deppin. On the way out, you're still talking shit, trying to grab hats. Fuck you, Oh, it's beautiful. Love it.
All right, our next match is Joey Janela versus Adam Priest.
In the 80s, Priest would have been, he would have had a mic in his hand before his matches, heating up the crowd. He naturally pisses people off if and when he wants to. Priest busted Janela's leg by running it into the stage. This injury was worked throughout the match. Priest countered a lot of what Janela threw at him for most of the match. His offense was also extremely calculated. It was hard to call out many spots here. This match showed more struggle and less quick back and forth. There would be a punch, then an extensive sell. Once again, this would have been more perfect for Japan. This was more of a WWE style pace than usual. Our finish here, Joey hits a package pile driver, covers for 3, winner Joey Janela. What are you thinking here?
Adam Priest has that look. I said it before during Backyards. I couldn't tell if this match was from 06 or 2025. Adam Priest has that timeless look to him, where if you put a little bit of VHS grain on him, you can say, oh yeah, this guy was champion of Smoky Mountain in '84.
That he's got that Southern country look.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're drawing from. That is that.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, he kind of falls a little flat because I don't see his personality. So the problem there is I just see guy with flat. So for me, I want to see more personality because if he can talk, now he can sell me on becoming a threat. We already know he's capable of becoming one if he wants to. Sell me on it.
I kind of, he obviously reminds me of a wrestler that I don't want to say that we all kind of put two and two together, but I think nowadays, like he kind of is. I mean, this is a reach, but could it be treated as like the Bryan Danielson right now, like of his wrestling style and what he's been used as, and kind of like he's been showcased on some big names and presented in that kind of way. And I know he just keeps on getting better and better. And I prefer not to hear him talk. I kind of want to see him as like the silent assassin guy that just comes in, whoops everyone's ass, and like could be, if he's played as a heel, could be like someone's little like being paid as a fox catcher to come in and do the work as the silent assassin, and then like just I don't know. I really like him as he is presented right now. I know I get as a character to get more out of him, like you want to see more, but as a heel, I kind of want him right now just the silent assassin that could just cripple you at any time. So I enjoy watching Adam Priest, and I was kind of very happy to see him against Joey Janela. And this match kind of obviously was paced and favored a Adam Priest style match too.
Great one says Bryan Danielson has some praise for him recently. Danielson called Adam the best wrestler on the indies at Action, Dean 2 hosted by AEW and ROH.
That's why I kind of said what I said. Like I'm not saying, I wasn't saying it first before they did. I was saying it because they were saying it. Like I see it. I see a little bit more of the other wrestler than Bryan Danielson, but I mean, as of right now, the other one I want to compare, like maybe it was Speedball, like in a little different way, but Speedball, like kind of had that different style that made him unique. And I just think right now, Adam Priest fits a different style that can make him unique and picked up here soon. So I was very fortunate to kind of see him on GCW, and I think he could have fit a nice role as we saw the next night in JCW. I think him and Gresham provide a different feel for JCW that I could appreciate as well.
I see Dean Malenko. That's what I see. I see that kind of better
name I need to start saying. Thank you for that name. I want to start saying that name instead of the other name.
Well, no, I had a feeling where you were going, like I felt the vein that you were kind of rolling through. But yeah, in similar situation, Dean Malenko. He can be awesome. Deadly, doesn't have to say a damn thing. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. I don't know. I feel hopeful for him. Like I said, I like your school of thought too. You kind of argued, you kind of took me away from my argument there. I kind of like your thought process on that one, honestly, because there's less that he has to do also. It's just him doing his job.
And as a heel, I think it works. If he's got to get over as a face, you're going to need to see character, mannerisms, and for sure the other way. But I think as a heel, which he's kind of being used as of right now, I think that works for him right now. But I have like Reese said, I've heard him talking to other companies. He's kind of fun. He kind of reminds me a little bit like Jamie Noble on the mic a little bit.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Sorry, saying like that.
No. That's a good comparison, though.
He reminds me of Jamie Noble on the mic. Dean
that's the face I was trying to think of, and that he totally reminded me of, and he just completely just oh. you broke my brain with that one, but that makes so much sense. Yeah. You just inceptioned me with that. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
My last notes just said this match was more for the wrestling purists that like WWE style wrestling and struggle. That's what we were given here. I was going to tackle this more later down the road, but I want to say, since we're sitting here right now, I'm kind of enjoying how some of these WWE people are coming down and slightly adjusting the wrestling, how it's done on the independent scene. I feel like that's a tune-up that's necessary. Only so long can you ignore sloppy clotheslines before someone comes down and does it right and makes everyone else look like shit. Now you don't have to use clothesline. You can use any other move there, but I feel like the WWE style does help clean up the independent scene a little.
There's that issue of cleaning up the indie style so it's not a complete shit show, but also making sure you're not wrestling that what people have referred to as that safe, coddled WWE style.
Yeah.
I think what they're providing and kind of sparking is creativity and characters. Like, you got to be unique. You got to create a character. You can't just be good in your wrestling. Like, no offense to the other three, like I think they were picked up and kind of known for not just being good wrestlers, but more for their character base instead of the in-ring. And I think what they are now kind of showing, and we're kind of seeing in GCW with like Mason and character, like we're seeing a little more character-wise and people being unique in their presentation instead of just being really good wrestlers that always want to be wrestlers like we see a lot of on the independent scene. And that's what I want to see more of, is the creativity, the attitudes, and different kind of characters, and trying new things. Like this is the time to try it. Try one thing in Wrestle Open, try one thing in GCW, try one thing in JCW for all I care. Like try new things and find out what works. And I think that's what I loved about Blake Christian, kind of being able to floating back and forth and trying new characters. He found out what stick and what works and what went viral and what's now working for him in Ring of Honor. And I think that's what Cardona kind of started to when he came in. But that's why that's why I think these three are kind of like sparking that, is we're going to see more characters moving forward and not really worrying about the in-ring work and being sloppy and stuff.
I think all of us in this call kind of wanted Man in the Mirror to work, but I think it was just slightly too highbrow for indie wrestling.
I don't think we didn't. I mean, it was only 3 videos we got of it, I think. So I don't think
it didn't have enough. It didn't have enough time to actually go anywhere besides like, a couple of a couple promos and like 2 or 3 run-ins at the end of matches. That needed some more stuff to it to actually get going, because at that certain point it was just not enough there. And then Vanilla Baby just took off. It's like, all right, yeah, just run with that, and it makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be mad if I see like
Ivan, a pleasure.
Oh yeah. I'd be mad if I'm gonna see Christian and Leo Rush kind of doing what I was saying when they were doing that Man in the Mirror kind of shit. If I start seeing that in Ring of Honor and AEW, I'm gonna call back to one of these episodes here and cause for money, because I like it, and that's why I'm kind of hoping, as we will get to later here with the Mason match.
Shit about how Jeff Jarrett was still running around with his last outlaw gimmick in Ring of Honor, when that was like hand built for Hammerstein 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'll go back to this just because we love Ivan over here, and he's the one who makes sure that our music's on. Nice meeting you this weekend, Frankie. We love Ivan.
I saw him at House of Independence on Sunday, and it was nice talking to you for a little bit.
So I just wanted to put this back up again, just because he said the Vanilla Baby video blowing up just made for bad timing. I want to just tell any independent wrestler, until you're signed, you got to keep trying shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is TJ. We love Ivan. We talk good things about you, Ivan. The people love you. We appreciate your work, brother. Yeah, I think that was it for that one.
Yeah.
All right, real fast. I'm going to announce this match before we go into it. Was this supposed to be the tag match I thought it was supposed to be, of YDNP versus Miyu and Billy, and then just people got added, or is that match still to come later on in a future card? Nobody knows. Great question.
Now you got me looking down.
I should have done my own research, I guess, but I didn't have time. I thought like
I watched way too much wrestling this week to remember a detail like that.
What was supposed to be announced? No, that was Kansas City. So that match is still to come. Great one. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. Well, I remember saying before that tag match was going to be awesome. I think this tag match obviously blew it out of any of my expectations out of the water, and I'm excited for it to talk about it here, because this was a fun one. YDMP teams with Marcus Mathers going against Billy Starks, Megan Bain, and Miyu Yamashita.
I'll just put this out up front. No, you know what? I'll wait. I'll do my notes and then I'll give it here in a second. But how Megan isn't a JCW champion right now is beyond me. I watch her walk out. I go, that's a fucking star. As of right now, she's not chasing it. I've batted 100% on her since her GCW debut. Here's my next prediction. At some point, she will be a contender in the WWE. Now, I know that's taken a lot. I know that might be 3 to 5 years down the road after an AEW contract is up. But with her looks, what she presents, her aura, everything that comes with it, she has the movie like
she does everything that Charlotte Flair was trying to do, but better.
Oh shit. But
you agree with me on that. I think B totally agrees with me on that.
No. I agree so much that you hit it on the nail so hard. I'm surprised I haven't seen it myself.
No lies detected. Wow.
No, it is. That's the Charlotte fucking, yeah.
It's that
all the way
regal,
down to the arms.
Yeah, it's that regalness about her. But like, Megan just sells it better. Like,
oh, she has way better pomp
one,
and circumstance. Yeah.
From day one in GCW, her entrance demanded attention, and from day one, we said like she's gonna be a player in GCW and beyond, because like just the presentation of it all was just like something we don't see in independent wrestling.
Yeah,
I used the word impressive when I first saw her. I went, holy shit, she is impressive. And then I watched a match and I saw what she did, how she did it, and I went, oh yeah, she's got it. From the entrance to everything, it commands respect. And I think that's what we're looking for here. Yeah, I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3 years, but she's just going to go on TV, do some stuff in AEW, and then they're going to pick her up. She's got good TV looks. I think she's better than AEW in the long run. But again, that's just a fun prediction.
Yeah.
See what happens. Okay, referee Scarlett did a great job officiating this match as it was very busy, 19 minutes long. Tag rules were followed at times, and it brought structure to the match. Occasionally, chaos would break out, and the duality between the chaos and the structure actually made everything better. The temperature went up, and they were able to bring the temperature right back down. Miyu worked her ass off, had a very mature match. I feel she was one of the keys to why that match truly succeeded. Bane was carrying the GCW Tag Team Champions and hits a fall-away slam, one of the most impressive moves I've seen out of her in a while.
Right.
I loved Miyu and Alec kicking the two people on the ground and then reversing the count. A power move after power move.
Oh yeah, that back and forth 2 count. Yep.
It's badass. I loved Miyu and Alec kicking the two people. Yeah, that was what it was. Power move after power move is what we started seeing here. Fans were on their feet. I wrote here, we have something special. The finish, YDMP hit their finishers on all 3 members and covered for 3. Our winners were Marcus Mathers and Young, Dumb, and Price. Fans rushed to the ring. Commentary went silent so the fans could speak for themselves. Thank goodness this match had a chance to breathe. My last opinion, one of the best matches of the year. It was busy, a perfect example of independent wrestling at its finest. Everything flowed. Nothing looked clunky. Individual wrestlers brought their A game. It currently sits at number 5 of the all-time greatest matches at GCW currently. And the only other match in contention this year for me is Bear Bronson's GCW debut. That was my long-winded opinions. What you think of it?
No, yeah, it's you can't separate any little part of it and say this was the best part of the match, because it just, like you said, everything just flowed, and there was not 1 minute where you said, oh, this is a 20-minute slugfest. This went much quicker. This felt much quicker.
Yeah. Oh, by far. I thought this was about 13 minutes or so. I lost 6 minutes somewhere. Man.
Yeah, this match was awesome. I had something I was going to say and I totally forgot it. That's what I was going to say.
Welcome to the
PWG. Club. This felt like, somebody said it online too. It felt like a PWG match. I totally agree. Like that's what it felt like.
Yes.
Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Ricochet, throw in Matt Sydal and whoever else you want to throw. Like it felt like crazy, just nonstop action, false finishes. There was zero downtime, and if there was, it was for everybody to say holy shit or this is awesome.
Yeah,
or GCW, because this match was just non-stop and I loved it. Like I didn't think, when I said that Jordan and Alec Price versus Miyu and Billy was going to be like, I think I said like it was going to be one of those show stealing matches. I didn't think it was going to be like this. It stole it in a totally different way, and I'm glad that Marcus Mathers and Maine like added something to the match and didn't take away. And like they just there was so much dynamic moves, and everybody was so different. So it can't be TW.
Oh yeah, he was saying this.
Did Candice LeRae not wrestle in PWG?
Yes, she did.
Okay, so then I'm lost there. I win one.
He might have been. That could be a tongue-in-cheek statement.
Yeah,
that's I don't know what he's saying. Yeah. That's why I'm like, wait a minute, didn't Candice LeRae wrestle PWG? Sorry.
For the record, the match that this dethroned as number 5 all time for GCW was Nick Gage going over Matt Tremont in a 45-minute 3 layers of hell in December of 2027.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
See, now here's I'm gonna say it was really good. Top 5 for me. I can't say that. I can't say top 5.
And
Top 1
that's
of this
coming from
year, easy.
you're an Oliver fan too. So what you're
I like
doing is you're
Bryce, man.
saying
I'm a Billy
exactly.
Stars. I love them all, man. Like this is not like I loved it. It was match of the year.
Did
Probably.
I say 2027, 2017? Sorry.
No, okay.
They're
I
keeping you to that shit, brother. Feet to the fire, motherfucker.
Time travel. Here we go.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, I loved it. I watched it the first time.
Trying to, James. I want to be, but I'm not. I'm not high enough.
So I watched it like the first time, and I got unfortunately I saw some spoilers, and I had high hopes going into it the first time. I watched it the first time. I thought it was good. I rewatched it the second time. I was like, okay, I see how it was really good, and the crowd from moment 1 till the end of that match was just awesome. I think it was up there, one of the like best matches of the year. Top 5, I disagree with, but I will put it up there. When you said it beat Alex, what'd you say, Nick Gage, Matt Tremont? Like that's also the other top
Nick
5
Gage,
too. I was like,
won. For the rec, actually, I think that was Nick Gage Tremont 2.
I might have to disagree with that one.
Yeah, I think Gage Tremont 1 is number 1.
Gage Tremont 1 is number 1.
Okay.
The finals of TOS 5 is number 2. Barnett Suzuki from was that Bloodsport? That was Bloodsport 1 is a flat 9.0. Gage RSP from Spring Break 4. RSP Spring Break. And then this match.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I know this much. In a year, it'll all shake out. You know what I mean? Ratings drop, ratings rise.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome,
here's what I like.
I'm just glad the crowd was into it all night and all match and enjoyed it because like everyone deserved it. Like, I knew it would be good and it exceeded my expectations, but damn, it was up there.
What I was thinking was I liked seeing a top 10 match from GCW that wasn't a death match. You know how fickle our fans are. You know, you have to bust your ass to impress us and not bleed.
So think of another death match that would be the next highest one on the top 10 that's not a death match. Because I have it up here too, and
I'm thinking a Gresham match. It's not going to be Takeda, but I know Takeda's high. I don't know, man. I think Gresham when it comes to technical abilities. What do you guys got?
Nick Wayne Ospreay.
Okay, you know what? I think part of the magic of that match was we didn't expect the maturity out of Nick Wayne. If Nick Wayne and him had that same match and Nick Wayne was 5 years older, we would have said, that's a damn good match, but we wouldn't have put it over the top. Again, everybody can disagree.
I think even there we go. Damn, great one. Stop getting. I just was looking over at the screen. I was gonna say I'll give singles. That's probably without deathmatch. Nick Wayne Ospreay probably the best singles match in GCW history with just a straight wrestling for sure. I was just about to say, and I couldn't even get the sentence out. I don't even think I could give it top 5 trios matches I've seen in GCW history.
Wow.
No offense. This is no offense to anybody because some of those trios from LA and other places, the Hammerstein even, like it's a tough one, man. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to poo-poo this match, but like when you said it was it's what it took away, I was like, whoa, hold on here. I got to take a look here. But
so here's the other question. Do you think that because there was an excessive amount of fans there that were outside of GCW, that some of those excessive fans may have went to Cage Match and went, this was amazing, and just bumped it up?
I think the crowd reaction just in general and the nonstop action, it felt like a PW, like one of the top of line PWG trios matches, like the energy and that match just felt different than other trios matches. Kind of even like in the Lucha trios, we feel kind of like slow spots. They got to get their like the taunts in and stuff like that. But this one just felt completely different with the action just being nonstop. And I loved it, man.
There was a real PWG vibe to this entire Saturday card.
What's that about? What do you think that's coming from? Just what?
I think that was just
the fans.
There was just something in the air about how this card was constructed. About like it wasn't a straight deathmatch show. it wasn't a straight, technical classic card. It just had something about it that was just perfect. Like when we go down this entire card again, it's so much went so right on Saturday. Because you had the crowd hot as hell for just screaming at KJ. You had the crowd hot as hell screaming at Holiday. And then you had, really good matches just peppered in between those. Like there wasn't a dead spot for the crowd to say, no, it's falling into its old GCW trappings.
Just looking at like their last couple cards too that they gotten, I would say name value wise, this card was top of the line too, up and down, pretty strong.
Yeah. So then right here, if you were to take one superstar from the PWG era to now, who would it be? His pick was Chuck Taylor. Anybody
Easy.
have one?
Chuck Taylor, El Generico, old school kill Steen kill.
That was my pick, Steen. Steen's my pick. He did such amazing work over there. He was the Young Bucks when they were fucking intense.
PWG Young Bucks, yeah.
Oh, dude, I've still never made it to that venue and always wanted to just sit there like a sweat hog for fucking 3 hours. Fucking bucket of beer is the only thing keeping me cold.
Right, yeah.
I'd have to take the elite. Yeah, if I got to take 3, I got to take the Young Bucks and Kenny. For me, like that's just my style there. But Steen, we said Steen. I'm like, having Steen and GCW, my God.
Not Owens, Steen.
No, I said Steen.
Oh man, what a good one we have here tonight. All right, so on to match 7.
Match 7. Mance Warner versus Man Like DeReiss.
All right. Fun seeing how they both incorporate their styles into this match. They still fought around the ring, had a hardcore match, but DeReiss still got his moveset in. I like Mance's new look. He's in red and black. It's slightly adjusted. It also looks like he's lost a little weight, so good for him. This was a more physically taxing match on DeReiss than his usual bouts. I give DeReiss credit for doing that. Outside of my knowledge, does anyone know if DeReiss does much hardcore outside of GCW anywhere? By any chance, do any of you do?
I mean, he probably did something in TNT, but I can't, from my knowledge, I can't speak to anything like that.
I remember like a ladder match, like him and Leon Slater were in it, like as opponents in like multi-person ladder match, I think it was. But I have extreme wise, I don't think much of it.
Yeah, I think this is where DeReiss does most of his hardcore work, if any, over here. Man slapping on the do-rag had me laughing a little bit. A lot of fans were getting interacted with, especially kids. There was brutal chair offense by Mance, multiple DeReiss's on fire chants. Then we got the 0121 chants. Safe to say DeReiss is definitely over in America. He is a familiar name now. Found a sign that said no moshing, stage diving, or crowd surfing. Tell me one of the wrestlers didn't consider surfing Spike Dudley style past that sign. DeReiss putting Mance through the door from the second rope was badass. Mance grabs a mic, says DeReiss is his only friend, and he got him a gift. And I laughed my ass off. They had a musical montage with like pictures of them together. They get emotional and hug. DeReiss is crying, and he said, "Brothers hug, baby." That was unique. Our finish here, Warner hits a low blow on DeReiss and a roll up for 3. Very unique when it comes to how they finished that match. What were your thoughts on that one?
That was just such a non sequitur,
right?
Like you wouldn't expect it, especially from Mance. So I'm like, okay, yeah, go with it.
I love you, man.
Dude, I loved it all, man. I was a big fan too. I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go get a face Mance," and then nope, boom, right in the balls. But I loved it. It was like,
I knew that was coming. I could see that from a mile away. That was gonna be the finish to all that. But yeah,
but I loved it though. It was like for the difference and for the comedy. Like I wouldn't expect Mance Warner as of late to be in the comedy spot. Well, I guess with Man Like DeReiss, that was a good one.
TJ says, I love the finish of this one. Great stuff. Great one says, you could have given me 1,000 chances to guess the finish of this match, and I did not think I could have come up with that. James has an interesting one here. DeReiss versus Danger at Homecoming. Book it, Brett. Very interesting choice. I never thought about putting those two together. Could Danger keep up with DeReiss? Does he have the fundamentals to keep up with DeReiss?
That's a good question.
Danger can, If Danger can, then yes. He would definitely add a dimension to Doris's match that, that hardcore dimension. So I don't know, man. They're both flyers. Yeah. I'm open to it, but I know that only over time will their matchup sound better. Danger has a lot of growing to do still. If they didn't do the swerve, I think Mance Doris has legs as a team. I was sold on it just for fun. I like the feel good between the two. I don't know, sugar and spice kind of thing going on there.
Mance like Doris. I was already seeing it in my head, man. I liked it.
No, we were talking the next night. One called Manders like Doris.
Yeah, I like that, man. Yeah, one called Manders like Doris.
That's a good one too.
So I just want to ask because, well, why not? It's too early to talk like this, but if circumstances were there, how long would you wait before you put the belt back on Mance Warner? Would it be a year, 6 months?
Yeah, at least.
Okay. Would this be a rekindle of him and Effie, or would you run something else?
I think I would, not as I would put Manders back into second gear, not as throwing him back in a tag team because we need tag team bodies, but I'm just saying more as a merging of equals rather than just slapping him back into a unit, because I know Mance is trying to stand on his own legs now because they're doing the Steph and Mance thing in TNA. So you really can't. It'll take some mending to get them back together. But I would need to see Mance go at least face before we even think about putting him back on the title, and turn him heel when he gets the belt. But I think he needs to at least make one more face turn before we could even consider it.
See, I'm gonna say a word I haven't said in a long time here. This is where the Extreme title comes back into play here. I would have put the belt on him if that belt was still around, because he can't do that. I would love to see him go for the ultraviolet, him and Tremont, but him being TV as much as he is now, he's not doing ultraviolet and getting glass. So
yeah, he's not doing UV anymore.
Belt. I think the Extreme belt would have been perfect for him to kind of defend and have the crazy Mance Warner matches and still put on good stories. That's where I would have done with him, but.
It's just that the Extreme belt was twisting in the wind for so long. Yeah,
I get it. But if not, I want to see him go back to getting the spotlight matches, get the big matches against even this one I don't mind, because this is a match we don't see often, but him and Gabe Kidd and him and Zack Sabre Jr. Bring those matches on for Mance, because that's what I loved. I was so scared after the belt. What's going to happen with them? Big match Mance. Give me big match Mance. Have him face all the big names here. Who just got released from WWE? One of these names. Throw them in there.
Bring them. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Mance is champ and Cardona chasing, or vice versa. There is a story there. I was hoping to see a split during the Deathmatch Elite time, or not Deathmatch Elite, Deathmatch Royalty. During that time, I thought there was going to be, what's up, Deathmatch Elite? I really did feel, though, that Deathmatch Royalty was going to have a split in ring, and we were going to see Face Mance versus Cardona. I thought that was really what was coming down the pipeline, but at the same time, SDL got injured, so we couldn't see Bane and SDL, which I still feel that's on a back burner. I don't think we're going to see it anymore, but man, would that have been a good one to see too. Also, that's another one. I think SDL could stand to teach a couple things to Zeta also, only because she would be able to compound. Hell of a heater. I think she could do it. Let's see here. Kev, we haven't seen you forever. Good to see you. Turnbuckle, I have marked your question for when we get to that match next. Yeah, I definitely want to go back to that one. We're going to be talking about that one for sure. Let's see here if there was anything else in chat I just wanted to say here. Mance versus Shayna Baszler would be a fantastic little drag down. Shayna would have to be comfortable getting outside the ring, and as long as they're comfortable doing that,
because Mancer's signature is just all around the room.
The fucking Becker House. I'm already loving the name. Cheers, dude. Cheers. Fuck yeah. All right. Anything else on this Mance Doris match? It was definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
All right. The next match is a tag team match. Charles Mason with Slade going against one called Manders and Effie.
A video plays that shows COS 4 and the drama between Effie and Charles Mason. Effie challenges Mason in his own backyard. That would be for the one match that's going to be coming up here at the baseball stadium. Fans are chanting SGC. I love those 3 letters. Speaking of SGC, nearly each member has moved forward to do something amazing. Justice is at MLW. Mans had the GCW World Championship, and Manders has dominated Europe and become a big star there. The fight started before Emil could start the announcements. Emil called the split screen, sponsored by GCWmerch.com, the Double Trouble Bubble. I like that. I like split screen being called the Double Trouble Bubble. I'm fucking corny, and I thought that was funny.
GCW has become the land of the split screen.
Hey man, I mean, you got to catch all the action somehow, right? Of course, this match goes all over the building. Chairs and weapons flying everywhere. Effie was pushed down the steps in a wheelchair. Slade puts Effie through a door, and Mason and Slade both go nuts. Slade could do wonderful things for Mason. I hope there was some allusion to that during the match. Minutes later, Effie came back. Manders and Slade are having a chair fight. Not cool that Slade completely no-sold Manders' finisher, the lariat. I ask, is the pop worth the berry? We won't go into that one too much. The finish here, Mason held the belt. Effie with a sack rider. Out comes Vandal 48. Otis and Christian Napier take out Manders and Slade. They battle together to the back. We're down now to Mason and Effie. Mason goes to slap in the chokehold, and out comes Atticus. Both stand over Effie's body. I just felt like this was very busy. Atticus skewers Effie. Mason loves it. Mason pile driver for 3. Our winner here, Charles Mason and Slade. Mason holds the GCW championship up high. Atticus steals the belt, and he holds it high. And the fans are chanting new champ. Effie was beaten up badly. I want to stop right here. I put the word "this is so busy." I'm saying that because we have 2 top heels chasing Effie right now. And I feel like we're having pizza. I feel like we're having pizza and cheeseburgers on the same dinner. And I wish we could separate them. Let Atticus have his time. Let Mason have his time.
There is something to the fact of making the title scene so busy that you have to sit there and accept the fact that one of these car crashes is going to happen.
Yeah,
but I agree that he got bit. I saw that.
I was gonna say, finally, have a reason to watch every title defense now. Now, there's credible threats to the belt, and that's what we've been asking for all this time.
But I'm of the mind. I was thinking of this. Just musing to myself, it's like I wouldn't mind seeing a non-title defense match if that means putting on a better match versus someone you don't want to burn a title shot on versus champion versus local hero every week that the outcome of.
I'm all for non-title matches or eliminator matches even.
But
I'm the asshole here. Sorry, I'm the opposite only because I like that stupid little thing that says championship match. It's a mental thing.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that. But if from a ranking perspective, I'm saying I'd rather have non-title and see the cracks in the armor rather than have the Volcina every week.
So do you feel this is one of those situations where non-title and then the champ goes, you know what? You were badass. You earned a spot to challenge me. Does that make sense? Okay. I like the idea.
It's just because one of our recurring things is it was a championship match on a Sunday show in a town they've never been in before. We know that this wasn't going to be a title swap match.
Yeah.
We might as well go back to somebody who said who's going to win the championship. I don't think either of these two are actually going to win the belt. In my heart of hearts, I see the belt changing hands at Homecoming.
Okay, that real fast. I was going to ask you, what is your main event of Homecoming?
Effie Open Challenge. Allie wins the belt. There, I said it.
I can't disagree at all. I agree with Frankie that in the end at Collective, I think Allie pulls it off. If she can bartend, she's close to wrestling.
At Collective or Homecoming, you're saying?
I don't care either. That's the ending. Effie loses it to Allie. It's just a matter of when. Effie loses
to Allie. That's that. And you're gonna tell me that you're not gonna pop for a 10-year anniversary show. at the home game, and it's not going to be Effie versus her sister.
Okay, I was gonna say have that match, but you don't need the title involved.
You absolutely need the title involved.
I can't say that in this situation because their last match was to see who's going to go for the title.
And if whispers were correct, it was always supposed to be her in the first place in New York.
Okay, man, it's not okay. Here's my homecoming main event. John, what would be your homecoming main event? I originally just wanted Frankie's just because AC, someone in AC that's going to be there, like it knows AC crowd. That is the GCW crowd.
That is the crowd that would make AC weep in the streets. Would be Allie over Effie for the belt at homecoming.
All right, John, what's yours?
If healthy, open challenge, Gage takes Effie, wipes the floor with him, sends him back to wherever, and then Allie eventually takes it from Gage to get the real. Because beating Effie's what? But beating Gage is a little bigger. I know that's wild. I know that's out there. Now let's take Gage out of it. I mean, if it was old GCW, I'd put Effie versus Takeda.
I can see that.
I know that's wild. But Effie versus Takeda, because Takeda, I feel like, is a real threat to the GCW title. He's held it before. He could take it back to Japan and say, fuck you, and he's gone. So Effie has to defend GCW.
If Takeda was coming before a Japan loop, I would totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But he's coming after Japan loop.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think that's where I land.
I see him taking the UV belt from Matt in Japan and coming and losing and dropping it at homecoming.
Bro, if we had the Extreme right now, I'd say put that bitch on Too Tough Tony, Mickey Knuckles. Like, you need to give the independent wrestling Hall of Famers their last time to shine.
Yeah.
And again, that's just another thought process, but why not has Mickey really had a chance to walk her fucking time on the carpet? Not yet. Has she earned it? Yep. You know, I look at it like that. She's still, I mean, this isn't a Pondo situation where he comes out, bleeds on the handshake. You know, Mickey's working. So, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know. We're back to your question. I think Allie is eventually going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Should it be a loss? Should she beat Effie for it? I mean, they're shoot friends. Who else are you going to lose it to? You might as well have the moment together. Who's going to hand it to you on a silver plate better than your own friend?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you think of B? What do you think of, man? But I love this because Brent's coming out with some stuff here, and I like hearing it because it's different.
I'm gonna go completely opposite. I cash in, like no waiting.
Ooh.
Cash in on Atticus Mason at homecoming. Like for me, the
Triple
top
threat?
two. No,
You're talking one-on-one singles.
I would have Atticus. Atticus gets the first shot, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would have Atticus win it. Atticus now has to defend it at New York against Mason. Have Effie come in, cause havoc, maybe ruin the match before it even gets started, but maybe give the fans a little taste of what could happen, because also if that match, those two were to kind of main event, that show would be kind of bonkers and crazy and a little different and what they could be able to do. So I know that's what makes it a lot harder too, but I would have Atticus has a match here at Coney Island. Who's the Atticus going against Coney Island? I would know. Well, anyway, I would somehow tease that match or have Effie come in, ruin it. Now, let's say make it a triple threat match. Mason ruined it at homecoming. We're not going to do the who gets to wrestle the champion. We saw already how that backfired and how it ruined. It maybe could ruin shit. No, it's announced Effie versus Atticus versus Mason, and then maybe at the beginning of the show, if somebody is returning or coming back and can come get involved in that scene, somebody comes back, takes Effie out, handles some business with Effie for a little bit, and Mason and Atticus as two names for me. I guess I just want to see that one. one of the biggest match of the year is, or biggest show of the year is Homecoming. I would love to see those two names and kind of one of those two names carry GCW for a minute, but then you could always go back to Effie and whoever it may be, Allie at some point. I don't know, but I understand yours, Frankie, totally makes sense, and that's coming from an AC fan. Me, I would like to just go a little different way, but I also don't want to wait on Atticus and Mason because I've seen what happens the longer we wait on shit. Take advantage of it now.
And that's a recurring issue we've had is like, the belts have just been going on for too long. We've had title reigns that have lasted, beyond what their stay.
Right here. Violent J versus Brett, main event. Heavyweight championship, baby. Right here. These two going at it. Freestyle battle.
We're just going invasion. We're just going invasion now. Get us the split ramps. Get Nick Foley split shirt. We're good.
Okay, so let's see. I'll throw this one up for just. Do we think Cardona will want the GCW a title again? I'll be rough. I'll be rough on something for a minute. This is something we've spoken about. Cardona has changed jackets many times and told us that this is a reinvention or new, but I feel like this is just a man who changes jackets. I don't really feel that I've seen a difference between Cardona 2 years ago and the complete Cardona today. I don't really, I mean, the mic work is the same. The heel work is the same. The moveset is the same. I mean, like I said, just changing jackets.
He's admitted he changes his jacket so he can get a new toy out of it.
That's, yeah. So what's going on here is, So, I mean, if this is the complete, what's different from the Indie God? Just a couple words here and there when you get on the microphone. Past that, I mean, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like we've seen the same flavor, but I mean, every now and then someone throws food coloring on it and goes, "That's not vanilla," and it's still vanilla. I don't know. Like I said, I'm being rough here. Does he need the title? No, he doesn't need the title. The only reason Cardona needs the title is to push a face. Get a face to the top is the only reason to really do it. Like if we didn't have a face that was going over right now, give it to Cardona, let that face go over, just like how, Mason started to go over because of Holiday. A good heel could get a face over. And I think that's where, he may land. But yeah, outside of that, I don't think I've really seen much difference in Cardona. We've seen the same thing, different jacket. We have seen a couple different props, but outside of that, I mean, I think he's set in his ways, and this is who he is, and this is what, but I don't know. I don't know if he stands to gain anything, honestly.
There was a point where I thought it kind of would make sense, but that point's kind of long and gone now since Hammerstein. All right, our next match is Bear Bronson versus Beastman.
All right, Bear is out to huge chance. His debut put him over with the fans. And why shouldn't it? I've said it before, fans sense pure love, effort, and enthusiasm, and it was evident in what he did. Beastman was out next. He hands his mask over and checks with a fan to make sure his chair isn't in front of him. I think Frank is there, but I'm not sure just yet. So I was going to ask him a little bit about that, but I think we covered it in the beginning there. Did we cover everything between you and Beastman?
Yeah. No, I was like I said, I was accosted by Beastman's handler on Sunday.
So here's another one before we went too much further here. No idea where Cardona Shotzi thing is going. And what is there to win if they do? Is someone allowed to say Indie God? I'm still confused. I'm still confused if she doesn't know the indie scene and she just said Indie God just to, and accidentally went.
It's a bit for her bendy, I think.
Yeah. Well, I kind of felt the whole time this was going to be Cardona trying to get the Shotzi rub, because I mean that's what it is.
Well,
I mean,
we already
you can say it any other way. That's what it is. Cardona's getting the Shotzi rub, and he gets a
post TOS. It's like Shotzi's doing the Cardona playbook beat for beat. It's like do one death match, say I'm retired from death matches, and then the next week she's doing another heavy hardcore match, and it's like, oh, okay, she's not actually saying. If she just came out and said, okay, I'm doing my one match for clout, and I was ready to have a whole rant about how these Fed guys are coming in doing death matches for clout and leaving and going doing their normal indie wave to the fans type matches, but I think she's specifically stealing the Cardona to GCW playbook for a reason. It just hasn't manifested to us yet.
Do you think her calling herself the Indie God was initially a mistake and she found out later that's Cardona's moniker? Or do you feel they connected from the beginning? And
this was from the beginning, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I gonna go with Great One here, but I also think she's also looking for what you're going into the scene, independent scene. You want to call out the person with the biggest name that could kind of maybe help your name value go back. And that's just an easy one for her to reach out to, especially considering what Great One said. So it just makes all sense.
They live in the same neighborhood.
It's been fun though to watch, I think.
Cardona, much like Jericho, is supposed to be the king of reinvention, who's gotten stale. Well, Great One's rough on it a little more than I am, but I agree with him that we have seen the same thing over and over. I don't know what he could change, and I don't. Maybe he doesn't know what he could change. But I mean, when you hear the complete Cardona, that sounds like that's his last, transfiguration into something else. But I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on there. Yeah, it's good to know that he changes gear to sell us stuff. At least he's honest about it. Okay, so Beastman with a tope suicida. Great job by Bear. Bear answers back. Also well done. GCW is where mobile men came to play. That's what I can say right there. The big men are in full force. They throw each other into chairs, clearing out several rows all the way to the wall. When they get off the ground, I feel like there's a 20 to 25 foot splash zone where no chairs have survived. The fight on the stage. Beastman has on a cowboy hat and it fits him well. Beastman puts Bronson through 6 chairs, then slams referee DM Stevens onto Bronson, then hits a crew member. I finally get to see the stage view to the crowd. I'm wondering, why didn't we open the show from over Emil's shoulder? We could have seen the whole crowd pop. And honestly, that venue is deep. We rarely got to see how deep that crowd was. I don't know why they did it that way. Why have Emil open the show and you only see 50 fans when you can turn around, have Emil open the show with his back to the camera and you just see the entire crowd fucking pop. That's a chance right there. I think needs to be looked at down the road. Ash, if you're listening, I think that would be a cool one because you would have seen him lose his shit and then you just would have seen all the fans, wow, all at one time.
John, check the chat.
Oh no, what do we got here? Let's see. Where? Oh, who am I? It's Bubba Perkins coming. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. That was Bubba. I saw him in the crowd too. Ultraviolet champ, Bubba. Oh, there we go. He owes me a hat, man. Bubba. Good to see you, brother. If there's anywhere he can be tonight, it's good that he's with us. So Beastman attempting to hit Adam Galt with a chair. Luckily, he missed when he threw it at him. Out comes a barbed wire covered bear trap. Bear beat Beast with a barbed wire covered chair, then puts Beast on his shoulders and down on. Holy shit.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Multiple doors have come out. Bear grabs light tube bundles from the back. Fans go nuts when they see the glass come out. Beastman busts the tubes over Bear. He woke up the monster. Another shot and Bronson puts Beastman through a door. Beastman pops up and puts Bear through a door. He's up. The crowd goes crazy. Brett is screaming. Both men double clothesline and they're down. The crowd erupts with "This is awesome." Again, I wrote it for the second time tonight. We have something special. Doors were being broken over Bear's head. Beastman props up a barbed wire door. Beast is wiping blood all over himself. Beast with a fall-away slam through the door and he covers for 2. Beastman finds some light tubes in a box under the ring. He brings them in. He starts breaking them over his head. Busting a bundle over your head is a little wasteful. Stick to singles. Our finish here, Bear slams Beastman onto the box of tubes and covers for 3. Our winner was Bear Bronson, and he continues. I believe he's now 1-1. Online, I said he was 2-0 and got corrected, so thank you guys for that one. But yeah, I just wanted to mention, I would say with Beastman, especially how tubes are, just break the singles. Don't do a bundle over the head. I know it looks good, but at the same time, and again, I don't know better. I'm not in the industry, but I look at it from a business perspective. If you're going to do it, just do it with one, break the bundle over the other guy's head. Thoughts, boys?
I like this was a good one. I wrote down a little office joke. Bear Beast Battlestar Galactica, because this one was just, I loved it. Like, if I could see more Bear and Beast like this, though, like Bear belongs right now, and this is the Beast man that I've been kind of hoping to see. And yeah, 17 minutes stretched it out, and I liked it. It was a fun and different match compared to what we've gotten throughout the rest of the night, and the crowd obviously earned it and was super into it as well.
Bear breaks a tube over his head. Huge Bear chant. Sorry, Frankie. And in the end, Bear hands Beastman his bone. Both men hug it out. Great job, guys. Awesome big man fighting. Proud of the athleticism as a fellow big guy. There we go. Sorry, Frank.
Oh no, I'm just saying that this was a textbook example of what a good death match can be. It was just it had your back and forth tube spots. It had this and that. Had the barbed wire covered bear trap. I never want to see that thing ever again. I mean, that's just asking for. We had the bear trap spot at TOS, and that it went off by itself just in the middle of the ring, and that scares the legitimate shit out of me. And I've seen some unsafe shit at wrestling shows.
Right.
So,
oh man. Well, I'll tell you this much. Redneck me knows what kind of a trap that really is. And let me tell you, a bear trap would fuck a human up. Think about it. It has to take down a bear. So
yeah.
I think that's more of a raccoon, or we're not going to get into it, but yeah, it's a bear trap. That's, you know what I mean, for wrestling purposes. Wall. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything in chat that came up that yeah, he said, I have to assume with every good camera spot you have, there was a listicle. Always. GPW knows what the hell's going on. If they could, they'd give us 100 different things. You only got so many cameras. You only got so many fucking cords. You only do what you can. Yeah, I can't think of anything else on this one. I just like that, to me, I feel like Bear Bronson is a great example of why you learn how to wrestle first, then you do deathmatch, because part of what works for Bear is the fact that he knows how to manipulate people's emotions, because he understands the storytelling aspect that he'd learned from TV. So you match up that storytelling aspect you learned from TV, put it with death matches, and you have a more quality death match because it's now telling a story. Bear is doing that for us all the way from like this. When he's out there, he's showing people have strength and they cheer louder. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing and how to do it. Yeah, he's a textbook example of why you learn wrestling, then death match.
Yeah, everything I was going to say. Everything I could have said and more.
All right, that will lead us to the main event, as it is for the Ultraviolent Championship. Matt Tremont defends against Ultra Mantis Black.
Wow. Tremont's on that level where him showing up is just a happening, and fans are eating it up. You can kind of see that's what's going on. It's like him almost, doing his home run walk. In 10 days, Ultra Mantis will be 50 years old. We must remember this was going to be Mantis versus Redacted. So same thing. Please heal up soon, Redacted. We do love you. He's getting better. We should see him soon. Tremont ripped at Mantis' mask. That's a heel move. He gets thrown into a pane of glass. It don't break. Matt is then thrown again, and when it breaks, he's lacerated somewhere around his left eye area. Scarlett and Adam are attending to Tremont. Mantis is left in the ring to keep the energy going. I feel bad for him. It takes around 2 minutes or so, but then eventually Matt comes back out. His head is wrapped. He's barely unable to see out of his left eye. You could see swelling. Matt's basically fucked up, but the show must go on. Seeing Matt injured and nodding to Mantis to hit me, I almost felt sad. I'm dead serious, just full grown man shit. I see somebody out there who should not be doing anything, and he's looking at him going, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. It's not easy to watch as an adult. Matt keeps clutching his eye. His skull and forehead also have nasty cuts. Blood so heavy on his head, it looks like he got his scalp ripped back. Mantis throws Matt off the top rope and through glass tubes. Our finish here, Matt goes for a DVD through a glass pane, but the glass was stiff. He slams Mantis through the plate glass and covers for 3. Our winner and still GCW Ultraviolent Champion, Matt Tremont. I wrote here, a good match considering the circumstances. Great job by Matt. Same for Mantis for working around the injury. I'll stop right there before we go further. Thoughts on the main event here?
It did everything it needed to. It was Tremont selling, someone else getting good offense in. That's that's basically been the formula for this entire latest run with Tremont as UV champ. It's just been Tremont sells all match and then he gets one Hulk up at the end and wins it. That's basically what the matches have been boiling down to recently. But
what do you think, B? How'd you like the main event here?
It was good. I Ultra Mantis looked incredible. Like I did not expect him to look as good as he looked, but yeah, I thought it was a good main event. I just kind of, once again, I kind of knew what was happening and who was going to win. But other than that, the match was good and the crowd was into it. And yeah, it was a little scary of a close call there for Tremont. Him come back out with the eye patched up. I was like, what the hell's going to happen here? But then the next night, he looks like a totally different human being and like nothing happened.
Luckily, it's funny too, because those guys get so goddamn injured at the next match, the next night, they're like scratched.
Tremont's on a roll right now too of crazy matches, especially going between these JCW shows and GCW shows and the back and forth. He's having a fun run, and I'm glad we were lucky enough to catch it here.
What else do we have? So we're gonna talk about this spot next. Bear comes out. He wants the title. Tremont holds it high. He's game, obviously. Thoughts on the Bear challenge? Is it too soon, or do you think you should strike while the iron is hot on him?
He's the first person that actually makes me think, holy shit, we actually have a contender for the UV belt in a minute. I mean, we've said it before, it could have been redacted, but for political reasons we won't get into, I don't think it's going to be redacted right away, and considering his injury right away. But I think that Bear is the next person to think of. That's a guy that can carry the UV belt right now. But I think it's going to be someone from Japan on the Japan tour is going to take it from Matt and then come back, probably Takeda, come back and then lose it.
Bingo. That's what I'm thinking. Also, Tremont and Bear for Homecoming. Thoughts?
I can see that.
The Crow Fairy Tale asked. I like that one. Yeah, see, we got another country person in the house here. He said that's more of a coyote. You're right. That's probably a coyote trap. Damn, man. All the conversations we get into. Okay. I don't really know if there was much else to say. It's just great show. Great job by the fans. I mean, shit. Can't wait to come back. Can't wait to see it on TV again. The Webster Theater was fucking hot. And I hope that stays that way. If you're in or around that area or you attended that show, get some fucking friends, get out there and raise hell. Cause I guarantee you take 2 or 3 people, at least one of them are going to want to come back with you next time, and also, I mean, I don't know if people are noticing in chat and shit, but especially on the East Coast, man, get to know each other in chat here. You'll see each other at shows. Yeah. Frank has met so many listeners and like they become friends over time. Plus, when you go to a show, man, if you know 7, 8 familiar faces, it's so much more fun to be there with. So, yeah, absolutely. Man, say hi to Frankie. You see us on the West Coast, say hi to us, man. We're all friends around here for sure. Yeah, that's all I have to say about the top play. Was there anything else from either of you before we take like a little? It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, brother.
No, it's a strong show and great crowd.
Yeah.
And JCW, this next review will definitely be quicker than the first 2 reviews. We just had a lot to talk about. So I hope everybody's really enjoying it tonight because this is one of those rare long nights.
Oh, we got a TJ. TJ says him and Bubba will be at Homecoming.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'll probably see you there. I'm always at Homecoming, so I'll see you there.
I gotta make money and one day I'll get the Homecoming too. We'll never know. Maybe one day I'll make it to New Jersey. There's something I never thought I'd say.
Right.
TOS
next year.
So I guess let's just go ahead and kind of do the break thing now. Everybody, I'm going to just do the 3-minute cookie.
Play that beautiful exploding cookie footage.
All right, guys. We'll see you back here in 3 minutes. Take care. Okay. And we are back. I'm literally still chewing candy. We were just chilling for a couple minutes. Let's see here. Yeah. The cookie has become popular, so I'll talk about that for just a minute. I wanted to ask everyone, I had a dumb idea. I thought, would anyone find it funny, the irony in if I find maybe a couple different timers and use them maybe once a week here, once a week there, just for fun? I I know a lot of people wanted us to do GCW matches. The problem there is that there are no matches available to me that are like under 5 minutes half the time. So I just want you to know I am on the lookout for some GCW content. Until then, a cookie. So, damn, everybody's leaving me. I'm all alone. Okay, so
I'm here.
I know, good. Okay, so we will get started now with JCW's Born Almost on the 4th of July. This is from the House of Independence in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Okay, Frank, you were at this one. Let's just talk for a second here. You know, you walk into the House of Independence. How's it look? What's it like? What's the vibe?
So House of Independence is a very, very small music venue in Asbury Park. It's barely 2 storefronts wide. So if you imagine like your standard, like, you know, Chinese restaurant, like in a strip mall or like a Subway or something, 2 of those wide is about how wide the building is.
Okay.
Because it's a storefront in a longer city block. You enter up on the 2nd floor. I don't know if you see where the hard cam is. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the angles where you can see like a 2nd floor balcony. That's actually street level. And then you go down a flight of stairs to where the ring is, and that's like the main floor of the venue. It's a very small room, but I think it works to our favor. The first GCW show I ever saw was actually in this building.
Oh,
so
okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the new ownership of the House of Independence is either the Webster ownership or the Providence ownership. Someone can correct me on that in chat. But I think that's something like they used to run House of Independence all the time, like once a month, and then something happened, and then they never ran it again, and they moved to Atlantic City, and now that we're back, so now we're back for JCW. So yeah,
great one. Great one. I don't think that one's happening. I love suggestions. I don't know if I'll I don't know if I'll ever do
on God, no.
I love it. I honestly love it, but I just don't know if I'll be using that as a GCW. So I'll tell everybody it was kind of funny. I actually found a Bluey timer, and it had at the bottom right corner like the teeth that you're supposed to like brush. So it's like a teeth brushing thing for kids, and I thought it would have been funny, but it was a little too over the top. But yeah, I don't know. I might get some timers and just load them for fun. I don't know. We also have said Reed said hype packages. That's a good idea. I'll see if there's something. The problem is a lot of the hype packages are from the older, you know, that are on YouTube. So I'm going to do what I can. I got to figure that out. But right now, because we can edit it out, I'm just having fun with it. Don't give a damn. Might as well have fun with it. You know, you get what you pay for. All right. So the show opened with a Masha Mara video package where we got introduced to Mara Sade. A small video appears between the Sade feature. It was a Foxcatcher video. I think it was well done, and every wrestler should have one of these. It was a true feature on the wrestler's real life and motivations. I felt more connected, and I felt better introduced to who she was. A video package is shown with highlights from the Rex Sports Pro Wrestling show from June 12th at the Mecca. And finally, we have the JCW opening. It's a VHS 80s style video and music, heavy synth. Match that with the live purple or blue glow from the venue during the broadcast, and it all feels very 80s. Yeah, I just want to stop there real quick.
Like that. I really like the synth look. That speaks to me as like a child of the 90s. It's like that's that nostalgia I never had that I want. So
I just like the overall feel. Someone made a decision, and this is what they came up with.
Yeah. It's not just, oh, here's the show, here's the title of the show, and we're gonna, you know, create a graphics package around that pun, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like none of this had to have a whole 80s theme. Like that was a specific decision, and I think they knocked it out of the park. Retro is cool.
Ready for match 1?
Let's rock and roll.
Match number 1 was Lee Moriarty versus Darian Bensington.
Lee comes to the ring flaunting his ROH Pure Championship. I like he's showing that belt on TV and being announced as such. I also like we've seen of Benson. Sorry, Bengston. I read everything wrong. It's getting late.
Bengston.
I like
what
it's
a weird name.
Bengston.
I ruined it first. Sorry.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah,
up,
Brant did
Raymond.
it. Brant did it. That's what it is. I love the bottom half of Bankston's gear. I wish he had a little bit of something different up top. It kind of almost looks like a bib. There was a lot of wrestling talent in the ring. The finish here, Lee reversed a Darian roll up into a suplex roll up of his own. I really did keep it light here. This was truly a wrestling match, and there wasn't a lot for me to put down in notes. I also wrote here, this was an interesting choice for number one. I would have opened the show with the tag team match, then made the pure wrestling match number two, but
Yeah.
I'm not the owner. So what do you guys think about this match?
It was a cool match. You know, there was nothing to write home for me from it for me. You know, Bankston almost jumped directly into me on that one leap, but no, it was cool, but this isn't the match that I'm gonna, tell all my friends to go watch. That I came home from, I saw this cool wrestling show, and this was not the match I was gonna pull from that show.
Good, not great.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, what did Lee Moriarty come out to? What entrance music? Because I know last time was Wayne Wonder. Was it Wayne Wonder again? I couldn't
think so.
I don't. Oh, it was. Oh, okay. That one I didn't catch or make a note of, but I was hoping it was.
It's like an '80s like dance song almost. I'm bad with songs I don't know from.
That's early 2000s, Wayne Wonder.
I think that was the one.
But it sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like it. All right. No, I kind of feel the same way. I was really looking forward to this match. I wanted to see Darian kind of how he would step up and hold his own against Lee. I just wish they got more time to kind of showcase a little bit more. I thought it was good for what it was, but for me, I just was left wanting more from both of them. So maybe down the line, I'll get another match between the two with a little bit longer time.
Anything else on this one before we move forward?
No.
Yeah, we're good. We're on a roll. We got one match done in under 5-7 minutes here.
Next match was for the GCW Tag Team Championships as YDNP defends it against Adam Priest and Jonathan Gresham.
Priest and Gresham could be a legit tag team if they had time together. Both are great technical wrestlers. Priest was also excellent. I wish I could see more of his personality. We talked about that earlier. His gear doesn't really help. The bottom half of his body is just black gear. So some color or something to kind of show out. But again,
that's what I said. That's what
Yeah.
I said age before. It's like, he looks plucked right out of the 80s. So, I can't hate that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just feel like it seems like technical wrestlers sometimes always lack a little personality. And I don't know why or what that is. Maybe it's just because they're nerds for the art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really know. YDNP spent most of the match getting their legs worked over on the mat. This grounded the offense, which is what makes them deadly usually. Our finish here, Alec Price sunset flip on Jonathan Gresham for 3. Our winners and still GCW tag team champions, Young, Dumb, and Price. Same thing. A lot of chess being played here. It was hard for me to really write down anything for review. And that's saying something after a 17-minute match, but it, he's got his leg
together eventually
for 30 seconds. He's got his ankle for 15 seconds. What do I write?
Yeah.
But solid.
I agree with the read there. Priest and Gresham as a team, it was awesome to see. I kind of wrote down, I don't know, I've said this a lot of all these title defenses, but them as a team going against Alec Price and Jordan would be really fun. I kind of liked it because it showcased more Gresham and Priest and sold of everything the night before of what made that tag team so great. And as a credible threat, as tag team champions against Priest and Gresham, it just played in perfectly, I think, game plan wise and match wise and stylistically wise. And I enjoyed it. I know it wasn't as fun as the night before, but I appreciated all the little intricacies that this match did tell. But yeah, it left me wanting to see more of Adam Priest in general, but Priest and Gresham as a tag team for sure.
The Crow said the GCW show felt like a the JCW. Wow, what a night. You'd swear, man, I got to wake up. This JCW show felt like a GCW show, but is there really a difference? Well, yeah, there's a difference, but I think what's going on is we're starting to see the distinction between the two. Like, JCW has that 80s opening and whatnot, and GCW has a different opening, and there's slightly different talents used on 30% of the card, we'd say. But I believe there is going to be a concerted effort over time to make sure that JCW does pull itself apart. Otherwise, it will just stay in this B league area underneath JCW.
We always talked about it being the minor league. It was always the minor
Yeah.
league. It was always the B show. It was always this. It was always that. But I think this residency in Asbury Park has been helpful to cultivating an identity on its own.
Yeah, I think so too.
How was the crowd? Did you go the last one too, right?
I did. The crowd last month was a little light because it was on Mother's Day. This crowd, it was much bigger. It was a much more full room. The first thing I said to myself when I walked up to the line, because I got there right before doors, because of course I got there right when doors was supposed to happen, and doors did not happen.
No. No.
So doors were late at a GCW show? Never.
No.
And the crowd, like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but the crowd was not the same faces I always see. I saw a couple of faces that I always see at these shows, but it was people that I don't recognize, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Because that means that there's new faces and there's new people being involved, getting interested in the product. So that's never a bad thing. It's just that the first thing I said is like, I don't recognize anybody at the front of the line. And I said, oh, that's weird. Nobody I know is here. And I realized, oh, wait, that's great, because that means there's more people here.
It felt like a different crowd, and it felt like a different JCW show.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
All right. Our next match is the one called Manders versus Man Like Derice.
Derice got his 0121 chant, and Manders gets his yeehaw chant. Let's catch up with Derice since we first seen him on September 17, 2022. He's now a 17-time champion, current Kamikaze Pro champion, 950 days, and IW National champion, 227 days. On May 5th, he won the Progress Super Strong Style 16 tournament that was held over 2 days, ranked number 226 in last year's PWI. I'd have to be fair to say in the last 3 years, Brant, me and you pushed damn hard for Derice, and we have seen him grow into the quality talent that we expected him to see, or we expected him to be.
Mm-hmm. Same with Manders too. If we want to talk about them, like we always saw the potential there. Like 2 years ago, we were saying Manders needs more of a spot, and like he blew up in Europe and brought everything that he learned and gained over here, and he's just succeeding constantly too. I was happy for both of them. Obviously, this was one of my matches. I was rooting for both of them. Just a real good match. Hopefully, both of them won.
Hopefully, they just had a good time. Derice tried to go head-to-head with a bull and got his left leg injured. He's having a hard time walking on it, and he well sold throughout the match. The more I see Manders, the more I see a complete wrestler. I think he's got his formula down, and that works for him. Our finish here, Derice can't get to his feet. He salutes Manders. Manders nods. They both know it's time to put him down. Manders delivers the big lariat and covers for 3, and our winner here was one called Manders. I wrote that this was a very physical match, hard to make notes on. They both got their shit kicked in, and it all looked good. They sold a good story of struggle. I love both wrestlers. It was a good match. It ran a touch long. There's nothing that they did in 19 they couldn't have maybe done in 10 or 11. Otherwise, though, I mean, it's not for me to really say. This was a good match.
If this went 13, I would not say this ran long.
Exactly.
Saying 10, but if this went 13, I think that would have been. 13.
I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to see a reversal of endings there. I wanted to see Man Like Derice put up a video of all his times and travels with with Manders overseas and kind of like uses ending. That's what I was rooting for, but overall I liked it. I enjoyed the match. I didn't care about the time. It was my kind of match, and I enjoyed it. All right, our next matchup is Weapon of Choice match, Beastman versus Bam Sullivan.
So Beastman enters the ring and he broke his barbed wire covered bone. Frank, did you see what happened? Because that was over by you, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was swinging his barbed wire bone, and he was popping some of the balloon bunches that were around the building, and he just went for one bunch that was right above Lauderdale at his like little control desk, and half of the bone just snapped off and hit the ground, and then he looked at it, it's like, oh crap, and he put it on Brett's table, and he ran to the back and got a second bone that was covered in barbed wire.
Okay, is anybody else surprised he had a second bone on hand?
Not at all. Not
Really?
at all.
See,
No.
for me, I'm like, damn, dude, he actually had another, like, because you got to
A
carry
spare
that in
one?
your luggage.
Yep.
Yeah, explain having 2 bones.
I know
let's
for
see.
a fact the broken one went on sale on the Whatnot before. So
01,
2-1.
21. We do have a fan here. It's just asking, where can I watch all the shows at GCW? All those shows can be watched on I guess we can call it an app called Triller TV, Triller. You can find it on there. Also, you can just go on to, Google and just search GCW shows or whatnot. And then you'll see a link that'll take you to Triller from there. Great one.
And some of these other JCW shows you can see right here on this very YouTube channel. If you look around for them, you'll find the show that we're talking about right now on there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good you asked that question. Actually, funny, we hardly have ever had anybody ask that question before. Good one.
Usually they find the other stuff first and then they find us.
Now I have to say that Beastman handles mistakes exceptionally well. He's excellent at laughing things off and rolling with the punches. He was pointing at you, Frank. What was he pointing at you over? And you pointed at him too.
This was all about the TOS thing again.
Still?
Well,
okay,
no.
Okay.
Well, because this was the first interaction we had with him. He was pointing at me. He threw his pelt at me. He said, "You." It's like, what did I do? And then I didn't hear about it. And then his handler came up to me afterwards. It's like, no, he's still mad at you about TOS because he saw the footage. I'm like, oh, that wasn't me.
Oh, yeah. I think, yeah. Somebody has a question. What are you drinking, Frankie? PBR.
The Breakfast of Champions.
Yeah, he's drinking it and I'm feeling it. Let's see here. So there's a question. Maybe the bone was supposed to break later.
That sounds more right.
I think so too. So Bam came out with a barbed wire covered Hulk fists. His gear matches the fists. I'll give him credit for that. Moments later, Beastman comes out with a fresh bone. It was funny and unexpected. It was good thinking that he did it during Bam's entrance. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Why obviously Bam had his thing. He went to the back, snuck off. Great job there. Bam delivering huge punches with those fists. Beastman answered with a black hole slam, one of my favorites. The finish here, Beastman with a huge splash off the top rope and covers for 3. A very quick 7-minute match. Same thing. Did its job here. Yeah, Beastman pulls it out. I wrote that he's agile. I just wanted to put that down. After the match, he pointed to you again and kind of high-fived you, which I thought was kind of funny after that. I'll stop there. What's your thoughts on this match?
Like I said, you said it. It was just a fun, weird, wacky weapons match. Barbed wire Hulk hands is the new age coal miner's glove match. So I tweeted out calling them sock 'em boppers, but that's showing my age a little bit. But
I like that.
Sock 'em bopper. I liked it. I like where JCW is kind of going to go with their hardcore / crazy matches. It feels old school, as you were saying, Frankie, like an 80s kind of theme. Like when they're going to have like the grudge matches be settled in kind of like the 80s styles gimmick matches that used to be done back then. And I like it because it brings something different. And I enjoy this match for what it was, especially with a little bit of story kind of going into it as from the last show as well.
Well, then
it was kind of I know I was going to say, going back to Rec Arts Jersey, Rec Sports Pro Wrestling. Yeah, it did seem a little unfinished there. And I think that this was the true blow off from those previous matches. So
we get a Foxcatcher video. It puts over Mara as a double artist, calls her statuesque, and they want the belt. The bounty's now set at 15K. Something I'd like to see added, a promo from the challenger accepting the challenge for the bounty. I think that would be kind of fun. Any more ideas for who the Foxcatcher is? Anyone? I know, Brant, you had one earlier.
I'm sticking with Holiday.
I think it's someone who took a loss from Masha, because if they could do it, they'd do it themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too deep, but I mean, if you could do it, you wouldn't have to pay, you know?
Well, I was talking about it to somebody, and then I got a text from an unlisted phone number that says, wait until high noon. So somebody fucking knows something. So,
and how the fuck does the Foxcatcher have my goddamn phone number? I just happened to see, like, I was talking about Marcus Mathers possibly like being JCW. I didn't know he's challenging Masha at the next JCW. I just saw that when you were going over that match. I was scrolling Twitter and I just saw that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like that kind of maybe helps my theory or hurts it already. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know.
Could
John,
absolutely see I could absolutely see Marcus as JCW champ.
Still going with Blake. I don't think Blake. That's skipping GCW though, and going to JCW.
JCW has been very clear that its canon is separate from GCW canon, because anytime there has been a JCW championship match in GCW, there has not been a Foxcatcher video for it.
Yeah.
So to me, that says that the Foxcatcher angle will absolutely be settled in JCW and will absolutely end with Masha losing the belt.
And I love the exclusivity of the storyline. If you want to know the ending, you have to watch our show.
Yeah.
I like that idea too. And again, that's brand separation. So, I mean, everything's pointing to separate brands here. And I do like that. And, you know, I wonder who our stars are going to be at JCW. Who's going to emerge? You know, like Alec Price kind of emerged from there. You know, Jordan Oliver really put a lot down in that time. I'm wondering who our next stars are going to be in the next year if JCW starts to continue its, you know, its role.
It's still settling. So yeah. I think give us another show or two of pure JCW, and I think that'll make itself more apparent.
I'll go with I would still build around someone like Holiday, even to start it off with the belt for name value, or go right to someone like Marcus Mathers, who's up on the up and coming and WWE, who's obviously a different style, who's probably going to be more attainable reaching the JCW world title than it would be the GCW world title at this point in his career. And that could only help him, I think, and especially if they rebrand this JCW the right way. Like I think that Blake Christian, that's a big jump going from Ring of Honor, AEW to free YouTube at the House of Independence. I think that's a big jump from him being Foxcatcher, but I think someone like Holiday and Marcus Mathers obviously would be more well fit, in my opinion.
Is Atticus' character too big for the JCW title currently?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay. Do you feel this storyline eventually spells the end for Masha, or do you feel this is just another storyline to kind of...
This is too high production for it to be just a challenger losing to the champion storyline. I think I think the storyline will finally put an end to Masha's reign.
I love it. I have to say, I love it. It beats the shit out of just turning on a Sunday morning show. We see 4, 5, 6 matches and bounce out. I'll take it. I'll take this. And this is what we were asking for Masha. We were asking for something engaging to kind of make her her time more entertaining. Or not entertaining, but more entertaining and just more interesting. So I think we're getting that now.
See, Crow, that's an interesting idea. I was wondering if something like that. Brett's kind of testing out this little heel character in JCW, the Juggalos, if he would kind of do something over there with JCW. But that's a reach too.
Let's see if Fox got your video in JCW, in Juggalo.
Yeah. They definitely seem to be pushing Bankston as the face of the brand. I know they're pushing him. I don't know about the face of the brand, but I can tell you this much. He'd be part of the face. He'd be on the cereal box as a group.
That's what I felt like him and Marcus Mathers, that match was. And him picking up the win over Marcus Mathers. That's what I think I said at that show. It's like that there seems to be pushing Darian. I'm all for it because I think he kind of fits the JCW kind of aesthetic and role there.
I want to put my first thoughts down on Mara real quick. Good music, good look, 30 years old, bodybuilding background, 2 years in-ring experience, trained at the WWE Performance Center, a.k.a. Jakara Jackson, for those who watch TV, known as Miss Jackson, the Gold Digger, was in Meta 4 and a tag team with Lash Legend. I wrote here that this match was a slower TV style match, more selling of each impact to a degree. I hope some more of the WWE developed talent, bring the WWE wrestling style back to the indies. We talked about that earlier. Maybe clean up wrestling a little. We also talked about that earlier. Our finish here, Masha takes Mara, makes Mara tap out, and that is her debut. Our winner and still the JCW World Champion, Masha Slamovich. How did you feel about this Sade opening, and do you feel she maybe should have had her debut against somebody she smashes?
I can take it or leave it, really.
Okay.
Same thing, same reaction.
It sounds like both of you are so on her. Like if she does well, great. If she doesn't, it's fine too, kind of thing.
I wouldn't have hopped in right away to someone like Masha. I would have kind of built my way up to Masha to showcase her talents. I think that was kind of like the one thing is I was kind of wondering was how, like, stylistically, I don't know, Masha's, in my opinion, kind of way higher where Sade is in ring. So I was kind of like afraid that she would get outshined here. And at points, Sade looked really good. I just think she needs to kind of wrestle a little up her way up the ladder to someone like Masha is what I would have done, right?
Sure.
Instead of just throwing her right away into her first match to Masha.
Well, Mara did not win the bounty. I think it was an okay introduction to the indies for Mara. Had elements of independent and WWE style wrestling in it. I actually am okay with seeing her back. Like I said, I think she has a fantastic look. I really didn't want to see the first one as a loss, and I'm kind of against someone just coming in and getting a title shot. I like title shots to be earned only because the story aspect in it. But she's coming from a big company. So right there, you're getting a level of respect that, you know, Masha handed her ass to her. What you going to do? 12 minutes long. I don't know where Mara goes from here. So we'll see what happens.
Our next match was Mance Warner versus Timothy Thatcher.
I'm going to be rough here. I've watched all of Timothy's GCW matches. He's in fantastic shape, good technician. Timothy falls flat with me, though, because I don't really see much personality. Now, I know, B, you may be on the other side of that, too. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to talk about that. But I feel like the purpose of professional wrestling is also to have some personality. This happens a lot with MMA guys that come to professional wrestling. What's your gimmick? I kick ass. Well, that's great, but kicking ass isn't enough. That's implied with the job. You're not the fucking Terminator, especially on the indie scene. So I just talk about that, and I want to say, any MMA guys, you need to put in some extra effort if you're going to come to professional wrestling, because I kick ass isn't enough. Billy Starks kicks ass. Okay, that doesn't make her any more special than anyone else.
I think the best,
come correct.
The best example of someone who does that the right way would be like Philly Tom.
Tom Lawler, yep.
Yes. Philly Tom, yes. He literally he comes instead of MMA, like instead of trunks, he wrestles in fucking booty shorts.
Yeah.
Like denim booty shorts. Like,
and sometimes takes them off and has denim booty shorts underneath them.
Yeah.
But
he does the CPA thing, but with booty shorts. Yeah.
And I'm saying you don't have to joke around. I'm just saying show some personality. Get on the microphone every now and then. Maybe just get on your phone and practice some promos. And if one of them's good, shoot it out to the internet and let people see who you are. Yeah. This needs to come to the forefront, because otherwise, bro, you're just another dude in striped pants. It looks like a creative character before the kid has had a chance to change anything. And that's what kind of came from the person who was watching it with me. I was watching with someone this weekend, and they were like, who's that guy? And I'm like, well, that's Timothy Thatcher. He does like a lot of more like a shoot style MMA kind of thing. And they're like, okay, well, what does he do? I'm like, I don't know. You know? And they're like, okay, so striped pants, comes in, you've seen him 10 times, don't know what he does. I'm like, yeah. And the person was like, next. It's like, damn, like they just cut right to the fucking core, because I'm always trying to find the best and this and that. And he was like, look, man, like striped pants, don't know what he does, comes out, loses.
Versus Manser,
striped pants goes back. That's it. So yeah, there's going to have to be something here, because I think Thatcher is fucking awesome. He's been at it 20 fucking years. By now, his creativity should have pushed some of his personality to the forefront. Just saying. Again, no, that don't have to agree or disagree, because I'm putting it out there, though. I need to see more of him. I need to see who he is. Otherwise, he comes out, he wrestles, he leaves. I see nothing more of him. He doesn't have anything flashy when it comes to gear or anything, so there's nothing really to look forward to. I don't know what song he comes out to. I don't know his finisher. I've watched him 10 times. So he kind of falls into the background vanilla, and I need him to pull himself forward if he's going to be here.
I believe his song is "Bro Him."
Oh, is it? That's one of my favorite songs too. Really?
I think it's. I could be very wrong because that's not my wheelhouse of music. But I've heard the title "Bro Him" thrown around with him.
Well, I can say this much: like Thatcher and Warner worked well together because they're like gluttons for punishment. And I think Mance needed someone like that where he could lay into him and he could take it. And that makes Mance look better. That makes Timothy look stronger and tougher. I felt like this match played into Warner's strengths of round the ring brawling. Some fans in the crowd would wait until Timothy threw a punch and then they'd yell, Timmy! Whoever was yelling Timmy every time Timothy was throwing the punch. Love it. I love Mance, but somewhat lost interest in this match. I'm waiting for the next big Mance storyline so he can carry that ball. Our finish here, Mance hits a DDT and covers for 3. Mance Warner is our winner. I felt like this match was supposed to be a fight, and it was extremely physical. Again, I feel like Timothy did his job, but with some personality, I'd be happy to see him. Man, I was rough there.
Great one says I got the wrong Tough Guys music. Sorry.
Okay.
See, that's another one that's like same thing. I love watching them wrestle and everything, but I have to go with John here a little bit. I think those two are a little bit different. Where like I can see like Thatcher kind of being like the old like brawling brutes kind of character that they just had. Like he's one of these people you don't see out in public and out in the streets and in the city. He's at the gym. He's at your local MMA gym or boxing gym, teaching the young kids how to defend themselves. And we've got like all the stories of all the legends he's beaten and all that. Like, I just feel like he's got like the lore behind him. Like, as you said, if you bring that into like his character stuff, I think that would make him a little bit more interesting. I'll be honest with you. See, when I first was getting into like, I knew Timothy Thatcher was on NXT. But when I used to get him and Tom Lawler always mixed up. Always mixed up. I was like, wait, I like one more than the other. Wait, and I always hear Timothy Thatcher, and then I'm like, wait, that's not the one I like after I see them. As you said, Tom Lawler has the character, the flair, and the personality that like I lend myself towards him. And I hate to say that because it's not a knock on Thatcher. Like I love watching his style of wrestling, but I think he is missing a little bit of it, but you can't have a lot of like the Adam Priest having the same kind of characters and stuff. I think for me, that's where I would my character would lean towards. If I was building Thatcher's kind of lore and character, that's where I would start off with.
Little known fact, Bro Him was one of the first songs I ever learned on bass.
Nice.
Dude, it's kind of easy. So, you know, there we go. Oh, man. Yeah, I love that song. I'll just put this up for fun. Yeah, buddy. It's getting late. Why the fuck not, right?
Sue me. I got a song wrong. Sue me.
Exactly. Oh, I don't know, man. You know, Great One holds everybody to stuff. I like.
Oh, no. Great One.
I gotta say, there's talking about Broham being Dropkick Murphys. Broham showing up on my end as Pennywise.
No, it's Pennywise. Yeah,
it's Pennywise.
Okay, okay. That's why I was like, with a little lost here.
I'm pretty sure, but Dropkick has probably done a version. I mean, it's like one of those kind of songs.
Great One says it's like Bro Him is Oni Lurkin's theme. Wrong, old school technical tough. See,
I had to throw that up.
I was in the right wheelhouse. I was just the wrong guy. So.
But I sound like I'm being really tough on him. I'm not. What I'm really just saying with Thatcher is just pull out the personality. You've got 20 years of experience. If you don't have a story, just grab the microphone and tell us something about the real you that you've been through or seen. Some of the greatest stuff Griffin McCoy has ever done on the microphone was when he was speaking about Tony Deppen from the heart, not from a script. He was talking about how he's done this and you've done that for me. And that was some of the best mic work he's ever done. All it is, just speak from the heart. I have a feeling that Thatcher could very well speak from the heart if he wants to. He's went this far, and I think he can go further.
Our next match is a tag team match, as is Billy Starks teaming with Miyu Yamashita going against Lena Cross and Megan Bain.
Ooh, holy shit. What a team Lena and Megan would be if they took it seriously. That's a dominant team. Actually, I would give them the GCW championship, the tag team championship titles, and let them dominate all the regional wrestlers around. Like they're that good. They're that tough. They're that strong. I don't know. Again, that's just a wild idea. Something different. GCW thrives on different. I don't know. Billy and Megan face off. You can clearly see two different levels of pro wrestler. The difference between a more mature, developed serious wrestler like Megan and the fun, cute aura that Billy still can't shake from years ago. You see Megan sternly staring Billy down with a no-nonsense attitude, and Billy's kind of looking around and smiling. And I'm like, why is she doing that? Because in her head, she still needs to sell that she's amazed to still be in a ring like that bright-eyed 16-year-old. Sell the tension now that you're 20. Also, it's been years with the same gear design. I think at this time she needs to change it up. I feel like she needs to shake off 16-year-old Billy and become more of a younger woman in this case. I feel that that's partially holding her back. I still think in her head, she's still using the Billy that worked in GCW 3 years ago. And I think she needs to go ahead and let that go. Otherwise, I feel like right now, honestly, AEW is going to be her peak. So unless she grows into a more mature female, like the WWE likes, I mean, she's just going to come off cutesy until she drops that gimmick. And I know everybody loves Billy. I'm just trying to be serious. If one wrestler is staring you down stern like they're going to kick your ass, you probably shouldn't be looking around at all the fans smiling. You should probably be selling what your opponent is trying to sell, which is the tension of the match. That's the story. That's what I'm talking about. Sell the fucking story. Don't look around, act like you're, oh, hey, look, I'm in a ring, huh? No, like that was over years ago. Now it's time to get in the ring and do the job. I'm an asshole. I wish Miyu was more prominently featured in this match. Don't agree with me, Brent. She has the experience on how to work her specific opponent's needs. Megan grabs both Miyu and Billy, hits a fall-away slam on both. The match had a lot of coordinated team moves. Our finish here, Miyu hits Lena with a fireman's carry. Billy hits the swanton and covers Lena for 3. Our winner here, Billy Starks and Miyu Yamashita. I wrote here, I'd rather given the win to the Cross Bane team just in case I wanted to make a dominant team down the road. You could see how well they work together now. Maybe they can carry GCW tag titles down the road. So booking wise, I'm looking down the road. I would have put over Cross and Megan as true threats. Starks and Miyu Yamashita are just feel good wins. So why crush something, with momentum for feel good? Just like earlier where, why no sell a lariat for the pop? You just fucked his lariat for who knows how long, in the real in the wrestling world. What are you guys' thoughts on this match? This is a hellish tag team.
The whole thing was Crow Fairy Tale got me. Team Snooze New lost. I mean, I can see why Miyu lost. I mean, Miyu won with just, the kick offense and Billy, just trying to sell Billy and Miyu. But this one was I didn't have a horse in this race, really. I didn't have a dog in this race. I didn't have a horse in this fight. Like I said, it was coming off the match the night before. I don't know if it came off hollow or I don't know what the phrasing I want to use is.
Not as good.
Different.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was
Those are
because
good
of high
statements.
energy. Like I feel the same way. Like that's what I kind of felt about the earlier tag match. It was like I don't think it fell flat, but I think a lot of people maybe did. For me, I was expecting hopefully Gresham and Priest would capitalize on Alec and Jordan because they're high flying energy. I think they took the energy out of it. This one, I was expecting hopefully the dominant of the size difference of Lena Cross and Megan Bain going against Billy and Miyu would play into it. And I think that's what kind of, for me, played into it. And I thought it played into it perfectly, but I could see how you or some other people could feel a little different on it.
Yeah, I'm just looking to the future. I think between them, Starks is young. Yamashita is done for. In the next, she don't need a push. She's done her thing over in Japan. So yeah, I would have banked on. Cross and Bane they were coming out together with like their arms out, doing the whole thing. I'm like
doing the whole team entrance.
Lock them the fuck up and let them just roll. I see champions. I see TV stars. I don't understand why you wouldn't take advantage of that. I know, unless you're selling out. You need to be. You purchased them, use them.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's so a video plays regarding the Jersey Lotto match. There's rolling promos back to back, which I loved. The vibe is reminiscent of the old WWF promos that would run before a pay-per-view started in the 80s. I guess we just found out also the bounty's at 25K now. Everyone in the video is mentioning it. Everyone recorded their spots way before the Masha Mara match, I'm assuming. So there's a hole in creative there, but
well, I think the 25,000. I think 25,000 was part of the Jersey Lotto, not part of the Foxcatcher thing.
Oh, so I fucked that up.
Yeah, he's throwing like an extra bounty in at the end of it.
Oh, that's my bad, guys.
I think that Jersey Lotto got like 10 and the winner gets 15, I think, from the Foxcatcher.
Okay, you've talked about this before, Frank. Talk to us about this Jersey Lotto situation. What's going on here?
It was just it's just what they're doing, this like, half Royal Rumble, half tag team turmoil, whatever you want to call it, like gauntlet style match. It was a absolute clusterfuck to watch live. Honestly, one of the matches that I enjoyed the most of Sunday was Joey and Tony out of the Lotto. I think that they're I think they did like 5 minutes by themselves at the start of it.
Yeah, and then throughout the match kept going.
Yeah, I enjoyed that the most, I think, out of all of Sunday.
Just seeing the two old dogs from GCW go at it.
Yeah.
Let them fight. Dust kicks up. Dust settles. They're still fighting. Dust kicks up again. Dust settles. Joey and Tony still going at it. Like,
yeah, I had footage of just like everybody just laid out, just dead on the floor of this freaking match. Yeah, it is what it is. It was just like this weird gauntlet rumble hybrid, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I'll try to mention the important stuff. Joey drew first. Deppen second with a Shawn Michaels tiger print hat. TTG got third. That's Jackson Drake and Griffin McCoy. Fifth was Zeta Steele. Tony decides now's the time to take off his shirt and starts dancing towards her. That was interesting. Back to Joey and Tony. The sixth entrant is the Cosmic Cuties. That's Ava Everett and LSG. Joey and Tony end up accidentally kissing, realizing it's each other, then high five. That was a cool little, I guess we'll call it a bro spot. Joey jumps in on the Cosmic Cuties kiss, now asking for a threesome. Our seventh entrant, Marcus Mathers. He came into the match with a full head of steam. He wanted the win. Cosmic did a kissing spot and moved every time someone tried to break them up. Something different I'd never seen before. O'Shea Edwards is our eighth entrant. He's in cherry blossom and black gear, and he made that fucker look good. O'Shea was squatting with Marcus Mathers suspended in the air. Our ninth entrant, LeBron Cozone. Welcome to GCW LeBron Cozone, 32 years old, 14 years in-ring career, known as the Ring Warrior from Greensboro, North Carolina, the current DPW national champion for the last 213 days. He's thick, tall, has a build similar to Jonathan Gresham if Gresham was taller. Number 10, Matt Mako. He faces off with Cozone. Tony was chasing after Zeta on the outside of the ring, still trying to get a kiss. Number 11, Janai. Maybe Tony doesn't need to be working with Zeta anytime soon. Number 11, Janai Kai. She walks out, delivers kicks to 7 different opponents. 7 straight motherfuckers tasted her boot. Number 12, Jordan Blade. Janai and Jordan have a solid face-off, potentially setting up something for down the road. They're doing great. O'Shea turned Drake inside out with a clothesline. Zeta with a destroyer on Mathers. Everyone's getting in their big moves. Everyone then is down and music kicks in. Out comes Charles Mason, but he doesn't see Effie. Effie attacks from behind. They became the center of attention quickly. They're fighting up the steps. They fly off the second story and onto the wrestlers below. Both eventually fight to the back. 20 plus minutes later, and we're back to Deppen and Janela again. They have a good couple minutes exchange. Joey and Drake was really good. I see great things for Jake down the road. We have words on the screen that says insurance policy. I'm guessing this is more of the Foxcatcher story. Nick Camarado comes out as our final contestant. Camarado and Janela fight to the back. I love the graphic, by the way, that they had up for the insurance policy. Our finish, Marcus hits the 450 on Griffin McCoy and covers for 3. And our winner, New Jersey Lotto winner, Marcus Mathers. He gets on the mic and he just says his goal is to become the JC World Champion. I just say, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
What you guys think?
When Kamaturo came out, I looked to the 2 people that I was standing next to, and one of them turned to me and said, "It's Christian." Like with that flatness, that nothing flatness. It's Christian.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody in the room really reacted when Kamatoro came out.
Do you think that had something to do with the timing? Because it kind of felt like the tension. It took like a minute. Like I saw everyone even around the
It
ring.
could have
the
been.
tension.
Around. It
I love
it
the
felt too
tension.
long. I think for someone like Camarado, as you say.
Yeah. I love the tension. I love that you had to sit there for 15 seconds and look at that screen and go, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
That's the drama. That's the tense. I love that stuff.
The only other thing I had to say was that Joey recorded his promo for this match in the parking lot of Six Flags Great Adventure.
He loves to do that with his what are those called where you pay for a cameo? He likes to do crazy shit on his cameos. So if you ever get a Janela cameo, it's incredible. One time he did one on a roller coaster. He's legit shot the shit while he's riding the roller coaster. Yeah, highly recommended. I think it was Future Joey got that one.
Nice. Well, if anybody, he would be the one to get that one, right?
Right.
So is Marcus the one that dethrones Masha?
I could see it.
I hope so. I hope it kind of like
WWE ID. He's a WWE ID guy. He's got a bigger platform than TNA.
Yeah. I mean, it makes the most sense for him to be the one to do it because, like you've said it yourself, it's like we only have these people for so long because we know they're going up to the Fed eventually.
Yeah, strike while hot because they might not be here next month. Don't lose out on a potential champion. Do you want to say Megan Bain or do you want to say Megan Bain, former GCW champion? It's all in how you want to say it.
Yeah.
Also, you're putting your company tag on their name in history for life. Why aren't you tagging them?
Exactly.
I mean, you pay for them anyway. Why the fuck not decorate them? I mean, the fans want it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I'll go back just like my quick thoughts on everything. I enjoyed the video package up front. I was stoked for it. Like, actually, I thought this how out of it and everything, catching up on everything. I thought this was like a preview for the next JCW show for like the Battle Bowl or something like that with it in the Jersey Lotto. I didn't know the Jersey Lotto was that night, but how it led into it and like as you said, the videos was a cool callback to back to the 80s and 90s, kind of how they used to do that stuff. And I think the whole match was good, but I agree with Frank. I think the time waiting, everyone looking around, and insurance policy was cool. I stopped everything. I was like, whoa, who is this? And I had to figure out, I'm like, that's the guy. I forgot what team he was on, but I liked him. I saw him like in a Ring of Honor shows out here in Vegas for AEW and stuff. I was like, he was the one that was like the most over, but like wasn't like the actual like best wrestler and stuff, but his character and like everything that he did was awesome. But then you see him in the ring and then he finally got to unleash everything he had in the ring. I liked him, but definitely, same thing as great one. Not the name to live up to a build of insurance policy. I was hoping for a way bigger name when I saw insurance policy. So I was left a little like maybe Camarado does some stuff in JCW, which is cool. I think that kind of fits him perfectly too right now. And after kind of seeing the success that Bear Bronson's getting, I think Camarado is very similar where I don't think we really got to see what he was able to do.
It was just so anticlimactic that we just kind of went like, oh, okay.
I agree. I totally agree because I was the same way. Yeah. So I hope for the future it works out for him. But for me at this spot was a little big letdown. And yeah, I don't know. Foxcatchers, it's got to pick up at this next show or finish for me because I'm starting to lose interest kind of fast in this.
It's got to have something more than another graphic with $5,000 attached to it.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, like at least Marcus Mathers is a more credible name. Where hey, maybe this is the time where they do pull the trigger. Not like I didn't feel they were going to pull it on Sade at this. Like, no offense to her, like her first match thrown into this. I don't think they were going to make any big deal with her unless she was staying for the foreseeable future. But I haven't seen her name kind of booked further.
Yeah, I get it
on the calendar.
Down the road, I'm almost kind of hoping that this was maybe Nick's introduction to JCW and he's going to become more of a regular. And I say that because he's a beast. And I think we need some bigger guys with muscle and, those guys have a place.
And he kind of got put up in a bad spot. Like you think insurance policy, it's a big name. You're going to get the win and everything. But no, it kind of was didn't feel as important as it should be, but I kind of do feel the same. Hope something does stick with him, maybe as an insurance policy on whoever the Foxcatcher is. Maybe he'll still have a prominent role, and we'll see a little bit more of a bodyguard situation. Wardlow. Oh, that was a name that just popped in my mind right now. I don't know why. Sorry.
Oh, if only. If only.
Right?
Said I still wish we had the bounty hunter on the bounty. Says I think we're gonna milk this Foxcatcher stuff until Masha goes. Interesting. A lot of interesting thoughts here.
Goes where though? If we're saying to the Fed,
exactly,
we're looking into next March at least or something like that. Her contract.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a wild one, man.
All right. Was it the main event? Yeah, it was.
The main
event of Born almost on the 4th of July for the GCW Ultraviolent Championship match, or for the belt, is a dog collar match. Matt Tremont defending against Mad Dog Connolly.
I'm gonna be rough again. Not a fan of someone taking a very rare, well-protected match type, known for famous matches like Piper and Hammer Valentine, Cody versus Brody, and making it their entire character. I went back in all the history of the WWF, WWE, WCW, AEW, and ECW combined. In all of their history, there have been a total of 14 dog collar matches to all of them. Okay. Mad Dog had 7 this year. I'm surprised someone from up above the business hasn't made a phone call about that and been like, son, you're fucking wearing down one of our most brutal matches. You're literally wearing it to the nub. So that's why I'm saying someone from above is, if you had like a cage match or something important like that you always try to book as like the last thing, the bloody this, the final.
Yeah.
And you've got one guy in the indies that's doing it every match. Where's the importance? He's taking the piss out of the dog collar. He does a damn good job, but an indie person just taking the piss out of a dog collar by every 2, Matt's had like 2 now. Tremont's had 2. So that's why I'm saying 14 overall against all the other major corporations. And this Mad Dog guy, an independent wrestler where he's at, has had 7 just this year.
And this would also be the 3rd one under the GCW business license since last Homecoming.
Yeah. So we're basically just running it down to the ground. It's like having too many death matches.
Outside of that, I enjoyed this match.
Oh, outside of that, it's fantastic. I'm just I don't want to be picky, but I'm sitting here and I was like, wait, as a purist, don't take away what Piper and Valentine did by making it some match that I'm going to have 2 of these in May.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Piper lost his fucking hearing in his left ear and blew his fucking eardrum. Like, come on. Like, anyway, I'm just saying we're sticking to a storyline here, but yeah, I mean, he's got a great gimmick. He's doing everything right. But at the same time, having all those matches like that really cheapens. Like I said, like having too many death matches can cheapen a death match. How many like back in the day, you get hit with a light tube, people fucking pop. Now, I mean, Beastman's bust him over his head for free. The pop is gone sometimes. I don't know. People,
no, again, I totally get it. I totally get it.
I'm cranky and I'm old and I'm tired and I got to work with fucking children. Isn't that what Punk said? I need a muffin. I need a muffin right now. Where's a fucking referee Adam Galt struggles to get the collar on Tremont. Tremont claims, I got a thick neck. He told the crowd. Good job on Nick for coming over, taking control of the situation, starting the match, and literally just putting the damn thing by himself. It's his dog collar. He knows how to work it.
Yeah.
Vicious headbutts, fighting around ringside. Matt was ripping his own bandages off his head. They were whipping each other with the chain. Tremont got pulled off the stage and onto a bunch of chairs. Mad Dog was thrown into a brick wall. Tremont was getting a barbed wire chair thrown at his head. They're punching each other with the chain. Mad Dog was biting Tremont's lumps on his head. I like to call that Cueto. Then proceeds to hang Tremont over the ropes. It was fun watching the guys maneuver around the chain at times. Our finish was Tremont had Mad Dog in a fireman's carry on the top rope and suplexes him through a door bridge. Our winner and still the GCW Ultraviolent champion, Matt Tremont. What do you think?
There were some absolutely god-awful chair shots during this match. I've seen multiple stories of me cringing in horror just like from the sheer impact of those chair shots. And I was right up on those.
Mad Dog was throwing 2 punches too on Tremont's back and his head. Like those were some brutal shots he was throwing. I was like, I will go kind of like I was not a fan of Mad Dog Connolly, the gimmick, the character, anything. I'm a fan after this match. I saw like kind of his character throughout like this whole feud has kind of like showed me a lot of him, and I'm glad I'm now coming on that train because I think he's something different, unique. I agree with you, John. I don't think he should be having that many.
Crow, his neck size is yes.
I don't think he should be
That's
having that many dog collar matches, but I don't mind him wearing it to like the ring, kind of like his thing, kind of like maybe the junkyard dog kind of thing and everything. But to have that many kind of or styles of that match in so quick a time, it does become a little too much and too overbearing. But I wouldn't mind it like once or twice a year with whatever his giant blow off to end the feud would be once or twice a year. But you said 7 times this year is pretty crazy.
He's had 7 just this year.
That's once a month. Yeah, you're having one a month. So at that point, it does become a little too much. And I'm glad I haven't seen all those matches. But I am a fan of him now. And no, I'm saying I would get like, but if I did going into this one, I'm like, oh my God, another one. Like I was interested. How are you gonna make this different than what was the other dog collar match that just had? Joey and Atticus.
Exactly.
How are you going to make it different from that? And then I was thinking the same thing with Skittle and Mr. J. Like, how are you going to make it different than the no rope bar match we just saw? And I think they did it well, and it was different. And yeah, some of those chair shots, as you said, Frank, were vicious. And I just go back to Tremont is doing more than I thought he ever would on this title run, being ultraviolet champion and all these matches in GCW/JCW and like this weekend. Just look at all the damage that he took. So big praise to the Bulldozer for defending that belt and giving us what we wanted to from that UV championship role.
Brand new news that just broke. I stopped counting. Mad Dog Connolly has had more dog collar matches than AEW, WWF, WCW, ECW, all combined, ever. He's had more in the last 2 years than the history of wrestling. I love the guy. Maybe dial it back to once or twice a year, and that's your specialty. And maybe keep it to championship matches. I don't know. And again, I'm just giving you the numbers and my opinion. I love the guy. I like what he does. He's a fellow Irishman, whatever. But maybe dial those back a little, because it sounds like he's trying to get over with that, and that's fair. And I love Junkyard Dog. You hit that right on the head, B. Actually, that's a really interesting way to put it. Mm-hmm. But again, the purist in me, like the cornet in me, is going, hey, why the hell you do this? We spent all that time making sure that this match, blah, blah, blah. And then you come out here, Mr. Independent, and you try to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I get it. So, I mean, that's my inner cornet coming out just for a minute. That's what's going on here. Again, I sound like a total dick. I'm so sorry, but I think older people in the industry would probably agree with me here. Unsure. Beastman attacks Matt from behind. Mad Dog joins in. They broke a door over Matt's head. Manders comes in for the save. He takes out Beastman, but the real static came between him and Mad Dog. Staff come in to separate the wrestlers. Manders and Mad Dog just can't get off of each other's ass. This is an old rivalry rekindled. I have a feeling this is going to be a big match down the road. Overall, great job on JCW for providing storylines and a mature wrestling card with hardcore elements. I think that whatever happened at JCW between now and 1 year ago has been tremendous in growth when it comes to booking. Oh, yeah. And so I don't know what it is, but I want to say personally, this is a much more watchable JCW, a lot easier to digest, more palatable. And what else can I say? I don't know.
Even as late as what, like last June, like last Homecoming, when was last JCW show, or like last New Year's, where it was just an also ran on the same night as a GCW.
Yeah. Weird.
I think what you hit the nail on the head though, Frank, kind of building a residency and kind of building the fans and building that fan base, and just it's been helpful for sure.
Even as just making JCW a local-ish fed and making GCW a national fed.
Yep.
JCW should be where the local regional wrestlers of that area should want to perform so that they could get the attention of GCW. They're technically getting the GCW rub anyway.
Yeah.
Better be working your ass off to get to JCW right now. You know, it's a pipeline to the top. You just have to work your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Born almost on the 4th of July. Anything else from this show worth mentioning? Did you? Oh, wait. The after party. How was the after party?
I was whatever. It was just hanging out in the bar upstairs afterwards after the show.
Was it a reason to give Allie beer money, like bar tip money?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good for her.
Yeah, it was just an extended post-show meet and greet kind of thing. It wasn't really anything like it wasn't anything to absolutely write home about now.
Yeah. But that's it though. Like just some music, everybody buys drinks, hangs around longer than they should, kind of thing.
Yeah, basically that was what it
was. I have one last thing and then we're done here. The Juggalo Championship Wrestling Lunacy Invasion. Did either of you get a chance to see this or no?
I watched a bit of it last night. Yeah.
Okay. Not yet, B?
So I'll be honest with you, I haven't, but I know like the last few shows, like the JCW shows have been GCW like related and kind of playing that storyline. I need to catch up on it. It's like if somebody could tell me like what show to start, like when they start GCW starts showing up and where I could start watching up, I would want to catch up on it because it does look interesting and different. We get to see them in a different environment.
So Lunacy's cool. I actually watch it every Thursday. It's like the only show I'm watching regularly now just because of the invasion. I'm trying to keep up on it because some of the storylines for our shit is happening over there. Yeah. So I'm trying to, you know what I mean? But the show is good. It's had the same music for the longest time. It's had the same set design. They're in the same building. You know, they're pulling the same fans. Not only that, but the fans that are coming are not dwindling. They still have a good size crowd at every one of their shows. They're doing what a lot of companies that have a regional reach wish they could do, is maybe a good way to put it, you know? Also, I really do like seeing all the painted Juggalo faces in the crowd. It actually looks a little sinister in some weird way. I don't know. I used to not be afraid of these people when I was a young lad. But yeah, if anybody has a chance, write this number down here. This week's Lunacy was released on YouTube. Go to roughly 1 hour, 12 minutes, 35 seconds, 1:12:35. And you will see the beginning of the GCW invasion that happened on the recent show.
And Brett was playing such a shithead heel.
Wasn't it great?
Dude,
I tuned in just for the heel. I wanted to see him grab a microphone and just shit on people. And
that's exactly what he did. Yeah.
Yeah. But this was also a Monday night edition. I want everyone to know that normally Lunacy's on a Thursday night. But we've talked about it before. The last Lunacy show before this one, I was talking to Too Tough Tony. Out of, I think I said 18 people that were on that wrestling show, 14 of them had more than 10 years experience. One of the 4 was Kerry Morton. He was at 9. So, I mean, the experience level is through the roof over there. Anyway, go to roughly 1:12:35. You'll see the GCW invasion. There was a match between the Backseat Boys and the team of Effie and Janela. Obviously, this was before Grayson got hurt. Jimmy comes out and helps Effie and Janela win. That's when Mr. 50s comes out and Mosh Pit Mike. Mr. 50s is 2 Piece and a Biscuit. Those involved were Jimmy Lloyd, Janela, Effie, Alec Price, and Brett Lauderdale. The Brothers of Funstruction come out for the fight. Matt Tremont arrives. Brett Lauderdale goes to the ring. He has a mic. He shits on JCW and the fans. Commentary on JCW said they knew that Brett was serious because he had his good sweatpants on. Good job on the mic by Brett. Lloyd brings out a door with GCW written on it. Eventually, the GCW wrestlers gain full control of the ring. Too Tough Tony's music hits. He comes out and Brett offers a chance to be a GCW regular. He puts the shirt on Tony and Tony says, "Fuck you, I'm a Juggalo, bitch," then proceeds to choke Brett out. Brett is taunting fans as the GCW guys put Tony through a door bridge. And that is basically the invasion that happens. After that door bridge break, they say something, I think, and then they just all leave the ring to boo. So I basically gave you everything that went on and I wrapped it up. It was about a 3 to 4 minute happening. But yeah, you had to go through 2 hours of stuff to get to that point. So yeah, I'm really interested. I have no idea what'll go on with the Backseat Boys. I'm hoping Funstruction kind of steps up so YDNP have somebody to go against, or they have to make a team over there to go against YDNP.
I think their throw together wouldn't put the effort as much. Wouldn't make the impact as a set team like Funstruction would.
Yeah. And does Facade work over there or just Danny Moe? Do you know?
Facade works over there too. Yeah.
Why isn't Danny Moe and Facade on a team going against YDMP just for fun?
Right.
I mean,
I remember back in the day, Facade and Danny Moe were
they fucking killed it together.
Semi-regulars, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that'll happen again down the road. Since neither of you really saw that, when you get a chance, check it out.
Oh, I watched it.
Oh, okay. You did.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you did or not. My bad. I'll go ahead into the summaries here. My top performance of the weekend, YDNP and Mathers versus Bane Yamashita Starks. Currently the number 5 greatest match at GCW ever. We talked about that. We have a lot to say about that back and forth, but either way, we got more than we expected. We did not think we were going to be getting that kind of a match.
No.
I'll summarize a couple of the storyline progressions that went on over the weekend. Backseat Boy Tommy Grayson injured, affecting the storyline progression between the tag teams. Seeing Gage versus AK-47, a classic backyard matchup by 2 of the best to ever do it. JJ Allen in a fire suit and all the picks that came from it. Skittle and Jay main eventing, that delivered. And then a cage match next year. The Hartford crowd was fantastic. The debut of TJ Crawford. The debut of, I think, his Kozone, Richard Holliday's last GCW match. The Effie Mason Atticus saga. Bronson's challenge for the UV championship. Seeing the potential in the Lena Cross Megan Bain team, Marcus Mathers winning the Jersey Lotto, and finally the GCW invasion of Juggalo Championship Wrestling all happened within 3 days.
We didn't even bring this up. There was that whole spot with Mason and Effie at the Jersey Lotto where they went off the balcony.
I only mentioned that they went off, but I didn't do much more than that. That's my bad. It deserved more attention though.
About that.
It deserved more attention because Effie's not big on heights. And lately he's been trying to, get more into that. When the invasion happened on the GCW side in AC, Effie jumped off that trailer.
Yeah.
So he's kind of, I think he's trying to work with it, but man, he's over 200 pounds and it's not fun to hit the ground.
God, no.
Oh man. Some takeaways or some hot takes. The Effie Atticus Mason angle is too much at one time, unless it breaks off into Mason versus Atticus first or second. I think WWE and AEW talent coming to GCW is best for their business. Great job by GCW talents for stepping it up on those bigger stages. Last one, I have a lot of newer talent have been lighting up the scene at GCW. I feel we're moving past a stale point into something where fans are more optimistic. I think there was some merch fatigue where everyone had purchased everything they wanted, and now it's time to hopefully get some new merch coming in the door. Any other takeaways or anything kind of interesting you wanted to touch on before? Nothing. Nada.
I'm hoping for Atticus versus Mason at Homecoming. Like that's what I would build this up.
That would be fun to see. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, Frankie. That makes a lot of sense too. And that storyline, feel good moment, kind of bring everything together would be awesome as well.
All right. Well, then I'll just announce this last match and we'll get into our finish here. Friday, July 11th, the GCW show Bosses of All Bosses from Gillies in Dallas, Texas. This will be live on Triller TV Plus. Appearances by Priscilla Kelly versus Elena Black. Gavin Ash makes his GCW debut. I've heard a lot of great things about him. Texas boy. Supposed to be a badass. Mance Warner versus Ricky Morton. We have the Battle of the Indie Gods, Matt Cardona versus Shotzi Blackheart. An I Quit match, KJ Orso versus Sam Stackhouse. The JCW World Championship, Masha Slamovich versus Elena Black. The GCW Tag Team Champion, YDMP versus the team of Ninja Mac and Dante Leon. Looking forward to that. GCW Ultraviolent Championship, Matt Tremont versus John Wayne Murdoch. I hope that's the main event, maybe, but we do have the GCW World Championship, Atticus versus Effie. That could also be the main event.
Either one of those could main, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be like a co bullshit.
Yeah.
Co-main event just for the fans' sake. Yeah, that's our next upcoming show, and that's a big one. I think GCW looks like they're pulling out all the guns on this one. I mean, like literally all the big names are on this one. The only one we're missing is if Cardona wanted to be on. It looks like he's not.
Yeah.
Joey.
Dude, Warner and Ricky Morton, classic old school Southern fucking match.
This one looks like it could be fun, but I don't know. Something in me says something could go wrong in this show. I don't know.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. We don't need that.
So
wait a minute. So wait a minute.
Not injury wise, but just.
I just caught a mistake. I'm so sorry, Frank.
Yeah, but I saw the same mistake I think you're about to say just now.
The Priscilla Presley or the Priscilla Kelly, Elena Black, and then so I'm guessing something happened with Masha here. She was originally supposed to go against Elena Black, and now that's been wiped off the card. So I don't know who Masha. Sorry guys, I don't know who Masha's up against.
Hold on, let me pull it back up.
Yeah, because I made the change when the announcement was made.
We've been on for 4 hours. Give us a break.
All right, Dallas, this Friday, Elena Black versus Priscilla Kelly.
Okay. So yeah, she was pulled from that JCW match. Crow asks a great question. When are you going to do another history on GCW or overdue? That is going to be, we're actually talking about that here probably this week. We've got to get something locked down. There have been a couple ideas that are going to be coming to with the history of GCW, where it's probably not just going to be a quick little answer question session. We're going to try to see if we can bring in Stephen A little bit, because Stephen A he lived it with Brett. We're great on asking questions, but like Stephen was there. Stephen was there to actually say, hey, do you remember this, Brett? Like, that's a depth of knowledge Brett and I just don't have. So right now we're actually retooling it. Brent was so super busy. You guys have seen we get him when we can, because he's a hot commodity here right now. It's like everybody wants him. So so that's what's going on as we're talking this week. I'm actually going to get I have some messages from Stephen A right now. So I'm going to get a hold of him after this show, and we're going to find out what's going on, Brant. Same thing. I'll let you know what's going on. But that's a great question. We are overdue. I can't even remember what the next show is. I think it might have something to do with Jimmy Lloyd's birthday kind of thing from way back in the day, but we'll see what happens there. James LeBron's in here. GCF and W. What's good, guys? And Havoc, I'm going to go right here. TJ says it, man. Good to see you back, brother.
Thank you, TJ.
You are missed. This whole group is a tight little squad. And when one person doesn't show up to the party, we all know.
Frank's been holding it down, man.
Frank's been fucking kicking ass. No lie. No, I mean, for somebody who just kind of got thrown in a little bit to it.
My bad.
Bit,
we're all amateurs. We're all amateurs doing our best, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we do our best. That was that show. I'm going to go into my little bullshit outro, and I think we're out of here. Okay, so again, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notified when we go live next time. Please comment if you can. It's free and helps our algorithm. Super chats are available if you want to donate. You can find B on Twitter at B_GC World. Frankie on Twitter at Frankie_GC World. And you can find me on Twitter at GC World Podcast. Follow GCW on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Head to longlivegcw.com to check out GCW's official website. I'm going to try to do this faster. Go to gcwmerch.com if you want some new shirts, hats, hoodies, pins, stickers, and more. Check out GCW on Patreon. We have a podcast with Brett called The History of GCW, where we dive back into a GCW show from years ago and discuss every forward stories from that night. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. We will be seeing you next week. Guys, you ready to send them out? It's been only been 4 hours.
Only.
Here we go.
I'm too tired to say long.
Live.
Long
GCW?
live.
No.
GCW?
Long live
GCW.
and good night.
Thank you all.
Good night, everybody.